Sports Channel special live pay-per-view coverage of the Florida Gators SEC opener against the Kentucky Wildcats. The Gators, as every Gator fan knows, two-time defending SEC champion, ranked number 5 in the nation, a program among the nation's elite. For Kentucky, they right now have the longest Division I losing streak in the country. They've lost 11 in a row. On paper, a mismatch, but on paper, Frank, it doesn't mean much when you go on the road in the SEC.
And Larry, Florida hasn't played particularly well here in Lexington. They've struggled here. We all know about the dramatic finish a couple years ago, but Florida has struggled in Lexington. Even in 1990, got off to a little bit of a slow start and then won big. So, yeah, they've had trouble here.
Let's take a look at the last trip to Lexington, another pay-per-view telecast here on Sports Channel. And, boy, what a tough day with the Gator quarterbacks playing catch with the secondary of Kentucky.
They threw 7 interceptions. Danny Werfel threw 3. There you see one of them. Neither Terry Dean nor Danny Werfel were sharp that night.
Danny Werfel bouncing back and forth with Terry Dean at quarterback, but Danny was the man in the fourth quarter with the Gators trailing by a score of 17-10, and they got a drive going, and they went deep.
And to that man right there, Chris Doring, a former walk-on, remember that pattern. You will see it again. It led to one of those dramatic wins. Chris Doring found the seam in the middle of a Kentucky zone time and again that night.
The score was still tied with just over 3 minutes to play. The Gators deep in their territory, and uh-oh, here it goes again.
There's interception number 7. It led to a Kentucky field goal. But, Larry, as you know, it could have been much, much worse even then.
It could have been much worse for the Florida Gators if not for the defensive stand.
You see a stop right here. This stop you're watching forced a Kentucky field goal. That meant Florida still had a chance, and it began with a wonderful kickoff return from Harrison Houston, set the Gators up in good shape.
Houston takes the ball across the 40-yard line, and then the Gators tried to go deep to Jack Jackson. The deep pass didn't work, but it did set the stage for Danny Werfel later on.
We had tried to hit Jack on the sideline, and that safety flew across and knocked it down. And we had one more chance to go for it before we had one more shot. So Coach said, get back there and once again try to hit Jack down the sideline. And I had intentions of doing that. And as I was going back, I saw that safety cheating over, and so I just kind of took a peek at Jack, gave a little pump down the right sideline, and turned and threw it down the middle, and just hoped someone from the backside didn't fall through. But everyone stayed in their zones. Chris ran down, made a good stick, and hit there.
Boy, was that a moment. Frank and I, we were in that corner of the end zone, Frank. It was incredible.
And I'll tell you what, the highlight you saw right before the last one was significant because 2 players went to cover Jack Jackson. They ran him on the same pattern. That left Chris Doring wide open down the middle of the field.
Florida Gators last year had another of their annual meetings with Kentucky, except last year it was a whole different story. There was no nip and tuck. It was a Gator blowout.
The Gators were playing about as well during this stretch as they have in a long, long time. There you see the score, 73-7. Look at the numbers. Florida ran for 300 yards, held Kentucky under 200. A blowout for the Gators.
Gators 10 for 15 on third down, including this first third down play.
So Aubrey Hill, he got behind the Kentucky secondary, really did that all night, did the Florida receivers. Florida could have named his score on the ground as well. Here you see Elijah Williams, back when he was very, very healthy, before he ever hurt the ankles, a very explosive player, and I think he'll be that way this year as well.
Elijah, 115 yards and a couple of touchdowns in that game. In the second half, Reidel Anthony, a freshman, makes his impression.
I think Reidel Anthony runs the long post about as well as anybody you will ever see. Gets down the field, big touchdown there for the Gators.
And the Gator defense got some big plays, and the special teams, Xavier McCray.
Ron Zook did a great job with those special teams last year, and that was the first evidence of it. Special teams, big part of Florida's season.
Kevin Carter, to be a #1 draft pick, makes a big sack for the Florida defense. That defensive line was key all season long for the Gators. Then in the fourth quarter, another freshman, Ike Hilliard, makes an impression.
What a pair. Hilliard and Anthony come to school together. 2 players are going to have great careers. You see some of the things Ike can do after the catch right there.
Well, we've checked out the last 2 Florida-Kentucky games. What about tonight's game? Let's go upstairs to the men that'll call it, David Steele and Jim Yarborough.
Thanks, Larry. The Gators play a Kentucky team which last year suffered through one of the worst seasons in Wildcat football history. In fact, only the 1982 Kentucky Wildcats had a poorer season than last year's Kentucky club. Jim, last week, Kentucky lost its opener to Louisville. Is there any reason to expect the Wildcats will be better this year?
You better believe it. I think Bill Curry's been preaching all preseason that this is a new campaign, a new chance for these kids. This is the first battle in the SEC conference for Kentucky and Florida, so They have a chance in this ball game, David. They got to believe that.
If they're going to win tonight, if they're going to have success offensively against Florida, they've got to be able to run the football, and they've got a couple of pretty good tailbacks to try and do that.
They really do. They featured the tailback in this new offense. A young man named Ray McLaurin, number 21, got his first start last week for Kentucky. 17 carries, 78 yards. Obviously, the tailback needs to produce for Kentucky to have any chance tonight.
And we remember a young man by the name of Mo Williams from 2 years ago who ran all through the Gator defense for 109 yards against Florida in that great game of 2 years ago. So with McLaurin and Williams, they've got a nice 1-2 tandem at the tailback spot. At the quarterback position, Jeff Speedy, a junior, he calls the signals back there. They're trying to get more balance in their offense, Jim. Speedy is not the greatest passer, though, in the Southeastern Conference.
Well, he threw 22 times against Louisville, completed 10, but he carried the ball 17 times. So he's a threat to run the ball as well. They're looking for balance, running and passing. He's a junior, and he got his first start last week as well.
So they look for more balance, Kentucky, on the offensive side of the football, running and passing here tonight against the Florida Gators. As far as the Gators are concerned, well, last week they beat Houston, but for some reason a lot were dissatisfied. The Gators look for more tonight, don't they?
Well, they got to believe that they're a much better ball club than they showed last week in the Swamp, especially defensively. You got to believe the kids are more focused on what they got to do to get off to a fast start in these SEC battles, and being on the road's always difficult in the Southeastern Conference.
One of the great come-from-behind victories in Gator football history occurred right here at Commonwealth Stadium 2 years ago. And a career was made when Chris Doering made the touchdown catch with 3 seconds to go in the ball game.
Well, he not only won a scholarship, but he won a lot of hearts around the state of Florida, and now he's the captain of the team. That's a great tribute to that young man, and Doering is looking to have a repeat performance if he can.
That Warfel to Doering combination has become quite the combination for the Gators over the last couple of years. On the defensive side of the football tonight, Florida looks for senior leadership after last week's performance against Houston. They'll like to get that from Mark Campbell, the big senior end.
Mark Campbell's got to do it. Kevin Carter, Ellis Johnson obviously are gone. Mark Campbell's got to step in and be a leader of this defense. He's got to be an emotional leader, and he's got to lead by action as well. They need a big year out of Mark Campbell, David, if this defense is going to stop some folks.
In the Steve Spurrier era, the Gators have only lost 5 regular season games to Southeastern Conference opponents. Auburn, Tennessee, and Mississippi State, the only SEC teams to beat Florida during the regular season. The Gators are heavily favored tonight against Kentucky. Now let's send it back down onto the field to Larry and Frank.
All right, thank you very much, David. You get a good look there at Commonwealth Stadium. It'll be full tonight. It always is. It seats about 54, 55,000. Nothing like the Swamp, but they fill it up. And when Kentucky has some success, they'll make a little bit of noise as well. Frank, the Gators opened up with Houston last week, and it really was not an artistic opener.
No, they didn't play well. They didn't play a great team. But there you see some of the numbers. It looked impressive. 567 yards for Florida. You see that they had 30 first downs. That bordered on a school record. Yet people that saw the game know they didn't play as well as they might, particularly defensively. Defense was really the talk of the week.
It was the talk of the week. The defense was the talk leading up to the game as the Florida Gators took to the field in the Swamp to open up the 95 season, and right away, Houston shows they can go deep on the Gators secondary.
End zone lot bit when Chuck Clements broke contain, and that left the receiver wide open. It left some work for the Florida offense.
And part of that work performed by Sorolla Palmer.
Had a nice game. Took some big hits, hung onto the ball, got a game ball after the game. Sorolla played well.
Eric Kresser threads it through. Boy, he's got an arm.
And he made some real good throws. And I tell you, you saw Ike Hilliard right there. Now you see another part of that sophomore sensation at wide receiver, that tandem. Reedell Anthony makes such a difference on punt returns. You see him right here, Larry. Sorolla Palmer was solid, but I think Reedell Anthony can make plays from that position.
Reedell Anthony, the best punt return in the country last week, and the very next play, Chris Doering gets in the end zone.
Here's that guy again. He's not all that fast. He's not all that big. All Chris Doering does is make things happen like you saw right there.
And you'll love to see a newcomer opening day, redshirt freshman Terry Jackson.
I think this play got as much applause as anything the Gators did. Broke a contain, made a very nice play. And then Demetric Jackson makes a very good play, broke on the ball. I'll tell you how important that play was. Demetric earned a start. Coaches are looking for players who will make plays.
Demetric Jackson, one of a few new starters in the ball game for the Florida Gators on defense. 4 newcomers in that starting lineup, Frank.
Yeah, coaches really wanted to make some changes. Willie Rogers will open at defensive end in place of Cameron Davis. 2 new inside linebackers, James Bates and Caven Walton both run a little better than Dexter Daniels and Jason Barley. For that reason, they're starting, and Demetri Jackson ahead of Mike Harris at free safety.
Well, the Gators obviously want to change some things. What are a couple things you're looking for different out of the Gators tonight?
I think you'll see more people in the box. They really backed up, had a lot of defensive backs in the game. I think now what they're going to try and do is really play run support. That's been a staple of the Florida defense over the years, yet they got away from it last week. 6, 7, sometimes 8 players near the line of scrimmage, Larry, make Kentucky beat you with a pass.
I'll tell you, that run support is critical against Kentucky because the Wildcats are going to line up double tight end. They're going to try to play ball control.
That's their only chance. Kentucky, to have a chance to win this game, must keep the ball out of the hands of the Florida offense. Control the ball. If time of possession is 33, 34, 35 minutes for Kentucky, then the Wildcats feel like they've got a chance. That may be their only chance.
Now, for the Florida football team, they started out last week about as poorly as you can. 3 and out on offense, and they gave up a long scoring drive on defense. That's something they need to change.
Yeah, first possession is very important, really, for the confidence of the football team. You don't think about it this way, but the bottom line is this is a team that says, well, we know we're pretty good, but we did play sloppy last week. Let's establish some confidence early. I agree with you, Larry. I think they have to play well early in the football game.
You know, a lot of people have talked about the Gators this week, the fact that they play Tennessee next week, a matchup of top 10 teams, and they'll be looking ahead, maybe looking past Kentucky. Maybe the performance against Houston will keep that from happening tonight.
Yeah, I think so. I think that'll make them more aware and more ready to play. I also think it enables them one more game, maybe to hold some guys out. I don't know how much you'll see Johnny Church tonight. He's had the stomach injury. He may not play unless they absolutely need him. This is one more dress rehearsal, an important one because they got to win this. It's an SEC game before a very important game with a good Tennessee team next week.
We've talked about some changes perhaps in the for the scheme for the Gators as they get set to toss the coin out there at midfield. And one thing is Danny Werfel and Eric Kresser, you're not going to see a whole new quarterback in there for the second quarter.
Yeah, really what Steve Spurrier was doing last week was giving Eric Kresser a chance because that was the one game he knew he was going to have an opportunity to. That's not the case now. This is Danny Werfel's team. It's Danny Werfel's game to play. And for that reason, I think you're going to see him, barring injury or a blowout, you're going to see Danny Werfel most of the night.
Okay, we're going to go listen into that coin toss? We are not. They have already gotten it done. Let's see how the coin toss is going to turn out. It looks like the Gators have lost the toss, and Kentucky's going to start out with the football. Not what you would normally expect, but again, they want to shorten the game. They might as well start off right away.
Well, that shows you a change in strategy from the Wildcats. Nobody ever takes the ball first except Spurrier. The Wildcats want to do it. They did not defer. They'll take the ball. Florida rarely starts on defense. They will tonight.
So the Florida Gators and the Kentucky Wildcats, the Southeastern Conference opener for both schools. Kentucky lost their opener to Louisville 13-10. The Florida Gators opened at home last week with a 45-21 win over Houston. But when the conference title is on the line, it's a whole different ball game. Frank and I will be back at halftime. Stand by because coming up, Jim Yarbrough and David Steele will have all the action of the Gators and the Wildcats live on pay-per-view and Sports Channel.
Tonight's game has been brought to you by First Union National Bank. When it comes to service, everything matters. Dairy Farmers Incorporated, producers of fresh Florida milk. Great Southern Wood, makers of Osmos pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't say Osmos on the yellow tag, believe me, you don't want it. Dodge, the more things change, the more things look like the new Dodge. See your friendly Dodge dealer today. And Bryan Foods, the flavor of the South.
Coast to coast, from small communities to urban America. By building on the success of local independent businesses, this once little-known company has quietly grown surprisingly big. In fact, today it serves you at over 13,000 locations across America. More than any of these companies you already know. Citgo, the sign of quality.
You know, here lately, Great Southern Wood's been running a lot of funny commercials to try to get people to think yellow when they're building outdoors. But seriously, when you buy lumber from Great Southern Wood, you know it's clean and straight and backed by a lifetime guarantee. How do you know? By looking for this yellow tag. It means you've bought the best. So when you're building outdoors, yellow is your color. Remember, if it doesn't say Osmos on the yellow tag, believe me, you don't want it. Yellow.
Caravan has always been a great place to sit. For the new Caravan, we put a spin on that Now you can roll the rear seat to where the middle seat goes. You can roll both seats out the back. You can roll the rear seat to the garage. You can roll the middle seat to the garage. You can roll both seats to the garage. You can roll that seat over here. You can roll this seat over there and back again. Okay, Caravan owners, let's roll. The new Dodge Caravan, just as original as the original.
For the past 15 years, Gator fans have found that the best way to keep up with everything going on inside the UF athletic program is by subscribing to GatorBait, the publication devoted to Gator sports coverage. Every issue includes scouting reports, player features, award-winning columnists, and exclusive recruiting news. Now you can get 32 colorful issues plus the Florida football and basketball yearbooks for just $47. Call 1-800-782-3216 to order your subscription today. Don't wait. Get GatorBait.
Welcome back to Commonwealth Stadium in Lexington, Kentucky. David Steele and Jim Yarbrough. And there you see the head coach of the Florida Gators, Steve Spurrier, getting his headset ready and hoping that his football team is ready to do battle in the Southeastern Conference debut for both the Florida Gators and the Kentucky Wildcats. Kentucky won the toss, and they have elected to receive the football. Kentucky head coach Bill Curry liked Steve Spurrier in his 6th season as a head coach in the Southeastern Conference, an All-American at Georgia Tech back in the 60s, trying to lead this Kentucky team out of a doldrums, a 1-10 season last year. This is Craig Yeast after the Matt Key kickoff, and Yeast, who has excellent speed, does not get a chance to show it. He goes down at about the 17-yard line. Let's take a look at Kentucky offensively. There's their backfield. Junior quarterback Jeff Speedy. An outstanding tailback, Ray McLaurin. McLaurin may not start. Mo Williams, the junior, may start at tailback. They're both equally effective. Woodford, a solid fullback. Leon Smith at a wideout spot along with James Tucker, who caught 4 passes last week. And Jonas Leaning is the tight end. Along the front line, the number 1 guy there to watch is the big left tackle, number 69, Barry Jones, the second-team all-conference man last year. This is Williams, the tailback from Columbus, Georgia, who rambled against the Gators 2 years ago here at Commonwealth Stadium for 109 yards, and he gets about 11 yards on that first down carry. Florida's defense, much maligned from a week ago. Campbell, potential All-American at end. He leads that group up front. Solid inside linebackers, and Ben Hanks, an outstanding performer as well. And there you see the secondary. Demetric Jackson starting this week. He did not start last week. Neither did Showers. Hands off. Goes to Williams, and Williams just maybe a yard to the 31-yard line. Taven Walton, number 50, makes the stop.
David, we see Kentucky come out with a 2 tight end, 1 back offense. Elliot Uzelak is the new offensive coordinator for Kentucky. His last 2 years, he was at Colorado, where Rashaan Salam won the Heisman Trophy out of that tailback position last year. So they're very confident that this 1 back offense will work here at Kentucky as well.
Wildcats with 2 tight ends, and Speedy throwing on second down. He's a pretty good runner, but not too much on that carry. Out about the 37-yard line. Demetric Jackson on the tackle for the Gators. That'll bring up a 3rd down and about 3 for Kentucky.
Jeff Speedy had 17 rushes against Louisville last week. That's as many as the starting tailback had last week. So he's not bashful about running the football. He's a threat as well. And when they run with success, then they're going to come back and dunk that ball out to the tight end.
3rd down for the Wildcats on their first possession. Speedy feeling the pressure, but a nice throw and a good catch by Antonio O'Farrell. A first down for the Wildcats. O'Farrell, a former quarterback, did a nice job of looking that ball in.
Antonio O'Farrell with 2 receptions against Louisville last week. Weary doing a nice job in coverage. A little bit of pressure there by James Bates. You see Coach Bob Pruitt, the defensive coordinator, deciding to put some pressure on early by sending an inside linebacker. That was 44 Bates with the pressure on the inside right there.
Good job by Speedy under pressure. And the Wildcats are 1st and 10. And off to Williams. Williams moves over the midfield stripe. And let's go down on the field to Steve Babbitt.
One defender that did not play at all is Johnny Church last week against Houston. Now, Johnny Church has been nursing a pulled stomach muscle all week, and he was in kind of question before the game, but he's been cleared to play by football trainer Mike Wasik. So we'll see what kind of impact Johnny Church can have, because it's his senior year. It's his turn to really make an impact on this Gator defense.
Some of the doctors were saying Johnny Church doesn't talk that much, so they're not sure really how great his injury is, but he's certainly resting on the sideline right now.
Well, Williams, good blocking off the right side of the line, and the Wildcats move the chains for the third time on this drive as Lawrence Wright, the strong safety, is there to make the tackle.
Well, last week we saw Houston come out and run the football with great success the first time they had it. You see the double team right there on Keith Council, and there's that cutback that also gave the Gator defense some problems last week. That cutback, they get the offensive momentum going one way, open up a hole, the tailback's able to make the cutback.
Florida's showing a blitz, and Speedy changes the play. Penalty flags are down, and Bates is all over the quarterback, 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Referee Rogers Redding.
Illegal motion against the offense. Penalty declined, second down.
Well, we see one reason James Bates is getting a start tonight. He's got excellent quickness, and on the attack there, blitzing from the inside linebacker position, he was quickly in the backfield. It was the defense just had him outmanned on that side of the field as they came with the option to the weak side.
Gators have 4 new starters from a week ago in the starting lineup on defense. Walton and Bates, the inside backers, and Rogers on the outside. Demetric Jackson in the secondary. So far, Kentucky has effectively moved the ball against the Gator defense on this first possession, but now they are second down and 13. Speedy's pass intended for Leon Smith is short, and that'll bring up a third down play for the Wildcats.
You see Keith Council getting some congratulations from his teammates. Last week, one of the problems the front four had, no pressure, with the exception of Council from time to time. Did get some pressure on Clements last week from Houston. Tonight early, it's Council again. He looks like the most effective pass rusher of the front four.
He beat Andy Britt that time, who is a senior but is making only his second start. Wildcats converted a third down play earlier on this drive. Speedy trying to throw it out to his tight end Cross, and he overthrew him. Again, getting good pressure from that Gator front. Rogers and Bernard and Campbell all in the backfield.
Yes, a collapsing pocket, David, and it's number 54, Willie Rogers, on the right side. Willie looks like he's getting held as well. He got leverage, got underneath the offensive tackle, continued with that pressure, and the pocket collapsed.
Jimmy Carter from Georgia. Back to punt the ball. What? High kick is fair, caught by Riddell Anthony at the 15-yard line. Carter from Dunwoody, Georgia, gets off a 31-yard punt. I wonder who he was named after. 11 minutes, 17 seconds to play in the first quarter. There is no score in the football game.
Although the thermometer is still climbing and the humidity keeps getting stickier, there's still nothing hotter this summer than the deals during Cheap Summer Days. Now held over, where you can lease a Grand Cherokee Limited for just $399 a month. Get values over $1,300 on Cherokee Sport, including no-charge air. And get deals that are truly steamy on the legendary Jeep Wrangler. But you'd better hurry in, because deals this incredibly hot are bound to cool down fast.
See your local Jeep and Eagle dealer today.
Have you tried multigrain Cheerios?
Multigrain? I wouldn't like it. I'll tell you why. First, it's healthy. It can't be good. This is good. Second, probably tastes like cardboard.
Crispy. Nice and light. Crunchy.
Third, it's too bulky.
3, 4.
4 different kinds of oats, toasted with a touch of
Brown sugar. Those are delicious.
too much of that whole grain, new age sort of stuff. Know what I mean?
Once you try it, you can't deny it.
I like it. I'll tell you why.
First crack at Kentucky's defense. And Danny Warfel, the junior quarterback, will be the man at the control. Warfel with Elijah Williams, the sophomore tailback, and Dwayne Mobley at fullback. Doring and Riddell Anthony, 2 outstanding receivers. And along the front line, Odom Green, Mitchell Young, Mo Collins, a very solid offensive front. Warfel back to throw on first down. He's got a man open. The pass is caught by Hilliard and out to the 39-yard line. The Gators pick up the first down. 24 yards on their first play from scrimmage, and here they come without a huddle.
Well, Danny Warfel so effective last year with his accuracy, and he puts it right between the 1 and the 9.
Warfel swings it out to Williams. Eli Williams to the 45-yard line. Cornerback Van Hiles made the stop on the elusive sophomore running back from Milton. Here's Kentucky's defense. A lot of experienced players. Kurt Supi at one end, Chris Ward on the other, and the tackles Schlegel and Major. Inside linebackers Smith and Schellenberger solid, and the secondary with a lot of experience as well.
3 seniors in that secondary for Kentucky.
Williams a gaping hole. Elijah Williams to the 34-yard line of Kentucky.
Elijah Williams just a bit quicker than Fred Taylor. Fred Taylor, the bigger back. Elijah, the quicker back. Both of those young men produced about 176 yards out of the tailback position for the Gators last week against Houston. A gaping hole. Donnie Young at right guard throwing an excellent block.
Once again, no huddle. And the Gators are marching down the field. Williams inside the 25, and the Gators move the chains again.
Well, Eli had some big production in '94 in the swamp against Kentucky. Got over 100 yards on 13 rushes, and he's well on his way to another big night here in this fast break offense that the Gators are running in their first series. The draw play continues to be the leading ground gaining play in the Gator offense. The pass is such a threat to the defense that it opens up huge holes for the draw.
Williams running behind the left side of the line. Inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. Jason Odom, Reggie Green leading the way. Schellenberger made the stop for Kentucky.
The defensive coordinator for Kentucky, Mike Archer, the former head coach at LSU. Mike Archer replaced Bill Arnsparger at LSU in '87. He was there '88, '89, and '90 before leaving the Bengal Tigers.
Still no huddle on this drive. Little dump to Williams. And Eli, a first down at the 10-yard line. Lehman Boyd, a junior from Bowling Green, made the possibly touchdown-saving tackle for Kentucky.
Jeff Mitchell is so effective this year at that center position. Even though this is the second game of the season, he moved from guard to center. Mitchell just throwing crushing blocks out on the field right now as the Kentucky staff is trying to figure a way to stop the Gators.
This Wildcat defense is reeling. Florida has yet to huddle up. Wide open is Doring. The fast break attack went right down the throat of the Kentucky defense without huddling up even one time on their first possession.
Well, the fun and gun offense continues to be operating on all cylinders in the '95 season, as it has done since Coach Spurrier returned to Florida in 1990. This offense just so productive, so threatening to a defense, and they've got so many weapons on the field. And there's the young guy that we were talking about in our pregame show that is now the captain of the team, Chris Doring.
Chris got flagged for a celebration penalty last week after a touchdown catch. He very gingerly handed the ball to the official this time. The Gators take a 7-0 lead. And what an impressive drive the Gators put together on their first series from Lexington. Our score, the Gators 7, Kentucky nothing.
Boy, Ricky and I really think life here in Green Cove Springs is easy.
It is easy when you're driving a 95 Dodge Dakota. Get behind the wheel, powerful enough to pull a load, yet styled for comfort. Then there's the 95 Dodge Ram pickup. Explosive power, versatility, agility, and affordability.
So take a ride to Green Cove Springs and see the folks at Ronnie Robinson Dodge Jeep Eagle. It's easy.
Hey, here's something delicious that has the flavor of fruit, not fat. A low-fat, chewy granola bar from Nature Valley. It's like finding a candy bar with the flavor of fruit, not fat. Just look here in Nature Valley.
What's for dinner? Got it. Hamburger Helper Stroganoff. I'm gonna make a real good, feel good meal.
Hamburger Helper Stroganoff with real sour cream.
Make a real good, feel good meal.
Dodge changed the rules of truck power, the rules of safety, comfort, convenience. And while we were changing those rules, another one changed all by itself. New rule. Dodge pickups now have higher resale than Ford, Chevy, or GMC. Want proof? Check the rule book. The rules have changed.
Visit your local Gold Star Dodge dealer today for a great deal on a new Dodge.
They just got it, Jim Yarbrough. Danny Warfel to his favorite target, Chris Doering in the corner, and there's no Kentucky defender within 6 or 7 yards of Doering in the corner. Uncovered. It was a breakdown, obviously, in the coverage. 7 plays, 85 yards, and we talked about the fast break, 2 minutes and 2 seconds. The Kentucky defense reeling from that fast break attack led by Doering and Warfel. And a big, strong offensive line, I might add, that opened gaping holes on the running attack, too.
Doering caught 6 passes last week against Houston, and he now has 16 touchdown receptions in his Gator career. And remember, it's a career that was really launched right here in September in 1993 when he caught the game-winning pass against the Wildcats with only 3 seconds to play in the game. Matt Teague is kicking off. Yeast and Williams are the deep man. And a short kick will be fielded by Yeast, who has great speed from the 11. Good open field tackle by Shea Showers at about the 25, 26-yard line.
And Xavier McCray, David, number 46, was down there. He was the first Gator down there. He was blocked, but then he shed the blocker and came back to help out on the tackle.
Steve Spurrier off to a good start offensively, and his team sputtered offensively early last week against Houston. They were very, very sharp on their first possession here tonight.
And with the exception of that first drive against Houston, that was the only time really that the Gator offense was shut down completely, and that was the result of a couple of drop passes, but no drop passes tonight.
Kentucky has 2 tight ends, 2 wideouts, and 1 back. A handoff to the tailback, Williams. Ben Hanks had him wrapped up, took the ball loose, and it's on the field, but let's see who's got it. There's also a penalty flag down.
That ball looked to be loose there. Ben Hanks did strip the ball away. Hanks all over the field last week for the Gators. The coaches couldn't praise his play enough. We talked about Mark Campbell having to be a leader. Well, Ben Hanks already is of this defensive unit. Let's see what the discussion is. Maybe the ball was turned over. Nope.
Referee Rogers Redding with call. There you see our officiating crew for tonight's
We have an
SEC
illegal
game.
formation against the offense. Not enough men on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat first down.
Boy, it's tough enough to try and beat the Gators 11 on 11. You go 10 on 11, you've almost got no chance. Ben Hanks last week against Houston made 15 tackles.
And he had a lot of near misses. He was flying all over the place.
First down and 15.
Look at the Gators crowding that line of scrimmage right now. Here comes Spate.
Williams trying to run up the middle, and he did not get good blocking at the point of attack. Not much activity there for Kentucky offensively.
Looks like the Gator defense is much more aggressive, David, in their game plan as we look at Ron Zook along the sidelines. The Gators pretty much ran their base defense most often last week. Tonight, they're more aggressive attacking with those quick inside linebackers. One of the new coaches, Coach Broadway, coming from North Carolina, working with some of the big guys in that front four.
Speedy hits his tight end, Marcus Cross. It's not going to get too much, however. It's going to bring up a third down and about 9. You know, last week, talking with some of the Gator defensive coaches, Florida was not going to show a lot last week against Houston. As you said, pretty much a basic defensive set for them against the Houston offensive football team. And also, I think Houston did a few things a little differently than they had the previous year, which might have surprised Florida's defense in that season opener.
Just the lack of execution most often by the Gator defense was the thing that hurt them most last week.
Wildcats set up the screen for Williams. And Mo Williams picks up about 5 or 6, but nowhere near enough for a first down. And the Wildcats will be forced to punt the ball for the second time tonight.
Well, this is what the Gator defense has to do, deny the opponent the third down conversion. You see them invite the front four in, trying to get the screen out to Mo Williams, who had such an outstanding high school career in the state of Georgia. He was so highly recruited. Bill Curry was so excited to get that young man here. He had a great freshman year, a rather apathetic sophomore year, and they're looking for him to have a big junior year.
Carter last week averaged 37 yards a punt against Louisville, and this one squibs out of bounds at about the 37-yard line. A 31-yard punt for Jimmy Carter.
Well, they do not want, Kentucky does not want to give Danny Warfel chance after chance after chance because of the thing that happened on the first drive, the lightning quickness with which Florida can strike. But they've done that. They've not been able to control the ball on offense. The Gator defense stiffened, and here comes the fun and gun again.
Well, Florida's first series clearly had been set up and developed before the opening kick. They didn't huddle. Warfel didn't look to the sideline. Let's see what goes on here on their second possession. From their own 37-yard line. Doring holds on for dear life. Van Hiles racked him up at the 42.
That's a big hit by Van Niles, but it's also after a 5-yard gain. If you could gain 5 yards on first down, that's a very productive play. That's what the Gators did with that simple little hits to Doring. Actually looks like a 6-yard gain, more like it.
Doring and Anthony are split wide to the left. Warfel throwing again. Elijah Williams fumbled the football, but it's going to be ruled an incompletion. He never had possession.
If that hit had just been a hair later, it would have been a turnover, but he really does not have possession. He almost has it. He's going to make the catch. As he turns, it's just so quick. It's a good call. A little bit of booing here in Kentucky against that call, obviously.
Split wide to the left is Jacques Green, a freshman from Fort Walton, Georgia, as Doring, rather Warfel looking to throw on third down, and he almost threw an interception. Jacobs just about picked it off. The Gators are going to have to punt the football.
Now, excellent job by Kentucky. They really needed to put the brakes on the Gators right there if they had hopes of staying in this ball game, and not a whole lot of pressure initially, just excellent coverage by that very experienced Kentucky secondary. Only 3 wide receivers on the field on that third down conversion opportunity attempt. And they got the job done on defense. Here comes the Gator punting game, and keep your fingers crossed.
Robbie Stevens, the freshman, last week and a tough time. Let's see what happens here tonight. He booms this one. Antonio O'Farrell backpedaling, and he makes the catch at the 5-yard line. A penalty flag is down as O'Farrell brings the ball out to the 20.
Beautiful punt. High hang time. Matt Pearson, number 47, got clipped around the 10-yard line, and Kentucky's going to go backwards.
An illegal block against Kentucky. Lehman Boyd, I think we're going to see on the replay, may be the guilty man for the Wildcats on the return.
Antonio O'Farrell, the former quarterback. Ben Hanks making the hit right there. We saw a quick glimpse of the push from the back, and the crowd is hostile here tonight as they've gotten 2 calls go against them here in the last minute or so.
There's a happy guy right there who just got the weight of the world off his shoulders.
Yeah, just see him take a deep sigh right there. Says, well, okay, I feel much better now.
I knew I could do that. They averaged 21.5 yards a punt last week against Houston. McLaurin is now the tailback, and he goes nowhere. That's Lawrence Wright, the strong safety, up quickly to make the hit, along with Mark Campbell, big 67.
I thought maybe David Bernard was in there, too. Let's see if it's 97 or 67. It's 67 and 90. Well, Bernard's getting over there a little late. It was Mark Campbell who penetrated and actually almost made the tackle for a loss. That's the kind of play the Gators need out of Mark Campbell consistently.
After that last play, Ben Hanks limped to the sideline. He is on the sideline as Mike Peterson is checked in at the nickelback. Gator defensive front wall giving nothing. Mike Moten clogged it up in a hurry. The fullback Woodford trying to carry the football. There's Ben Hanks getting worked on.
It's like they're retaping his ankle. Let's take a look at the interior now. Oh, nice play. Big play by number 90, Mike Moten. 6'5", 256 sophomore out of Daytona Beach. They're rotating some personnel in there. Council, you'll recall, started at defensive tackle. Now Moten's in there, getting some fresh legs in there.
Kentucky on its own 6-yard line. That's a nice throw under pressure by Speedy. McLaurin with the catch, but it's not going to be enough for a first down.
Well, you use the words under pressure, and that's exactly what the Gator defense has to continue to do. They did put excellent pressure on Jeff Speedy. He did get the ball away, but the Gator defense denied the conversion, and out comes the punting team.
Carter back to punt from near his own goal line. Riddell Anthony is the deep man for the Gators.
Great chance for excellent field position here on this exchange.
Oh, they blocked it. The punt is blocked, and Lawrence Wright picks it up.
Oh, no!
He pinched the ball off.
Don't do
to
that,
Terry Jackson, and then he goes out of bounds.
Don't do that. All you do is give a chance to the guys in blue to get it back. Whoa. Oh, no. They'll be talking to Lawrence on the sideline. Who got the block, David?
I think Jaquez Green.
Jaquez Green. One of those freshmen that are looking to make an impact, and he certainly does. Excellent speed. Now watch this. Oh, he's wrapped up. Go down. What was that? Well, I'd let Jaquez Green stay in, too, after that play.
Gators have the ball at the Wildcat 20. Warfel has 2 wideouts, both sides of the line. Doring over the middle. At the 1.
I've seen that route before. That's the route we featured from the 93 ball game. Chris Doring. And the crowd is a bit hostile because they remember they've seen that pattern as well, and it's still not getting covered.
2 years ago on the last play, it was about 3 yards deeper. The only difference.
That was George Harris, number 8, and Reggie Russ, number 2, making the play.
Over the top, Fred Taylor. No signal. from the guys that matter.
Big Fred Taylor listed at 215 this year. That's a big, strong tailback, and you got to believe that he can penetrate that imaginary vertical pane of glass right there.
Well, we don't have a very good angle, but it sure looked like from that direction he got across the line. Not that time. Good pop by Chad Hudson, a sophomore linebacker from Lilburn, Georgia.
Oh, that was a big-time hit by the inside backer. Hudson, look at the inside. Oh, it came off his block. The tight end was supposed to block him right there.
Gators with no huddle. And Fred Taylor is in for the touchdown. Taylor thought he scored the first time he carried, and there was no question about that one.
Sean Nunn, David, number 80 on the right side, one of the young tight ends, doing a nice job at the point of attack. Big Mo Collins, the freshman right tackle. Look at Donnie Young throwing his body out there. That's what you need. You need that explosion near the line of scrimmage from those big guys up front to give that big back some momentum as he goes over the top.
Edmiston with the extra point try. It is good. The Florida Gators take advantage of a blocked punt. Taylor puts it into the end zone, and with 1:49 to go in the first period, Florida's up 14-0. Let's take another look.
Look for the Allied with UK display featuring thousands of football products and nickel studs.
Save hundreds of dollars now. 4-person jacuzzi, whirlpool, and seahorse spas from $14.95. Over 75 models in stock for immediate delivery. Don't miss this big sale at Fans and Spas going on now. 100% financing available with payments as low as $30 per month. Free delivery on all sale models. Fans and Spas.
This is the sale you can't afford to miss. It's the Express Auto Center's Midnight Madness Sale, Friday the 15th from 9 a.m. to midnight, and Saturday the 16th from 9 to 6 at all 8 Express Auto Center locations in Jacksonville and Orange Park. With over 500 cars, trucks, and vans in stock and $10 million of credit available, no one will be turned down regardless of your credit history. It's Express Auto Center's Midnight Madness Sale, the 15th and 16th, only at Express Auto Center's 8 locations in Jacksonville and Orange Park. Nobody beats Express.
The dramatically different season continues.
I just want you to know I love you.
It's the episode you never expected to see.
You're beautiful.
A clandestine affair between Doc and Cass.
It'll be our secret.
But will their love survive?
I know we have problems, but I think we can solve them.
When tragedy strikes,
You're going to die.
find out on an all-new episode of Star Trek Voyager.
Monday at 8 on UPN 47.
You can depend on Citgo, too. Citgo, the sign of quality.
Bill Curry, the head coach at the University of Kentucky, after suffering through a 1-10 season last year, hoping for better this year. He lost his opener to Louisville last week. Now he trails Florida 14-0 in the first period. Let's check on the sideline with Steve Babbitt.
What a great tandem of tailbacks, guys. When you have Eli Williams, who's off to a good start today, able to catch the swing passes, work his way to the draws, get some positive yards. Then you've got Fred Taylor, who can get that tough yardage. It was nice to see Fred get low, too, on that touchdown run, get down a low base and get in. I'll tell you what, that first down play, though, Fred Taylor crossed the plane of the goal line. I don't know how they did not give it to him. It was nice to see that finally on the third try. Fred made it a no-brainer for the officials. They got in good shape.
Nice kick by Teague, and Yeast downs the football in the end zone.
Now the Gators right now, David, with almost unofficially 111 yards total offense, one big long drive, the first drive. That time the key was the Jaquez Green punt block, giving the Gators great field position. Lawrence Wright almost gave it back to Kentucky, but 4 plays, 19 yards.
Gators playing some exceptional defense in this first quarter and have put a couple of touchdowns on the board as well. And is Isaac Curtis in motion. And Speedy gives to McLaurin. McLaurin rambles up the field for a first down at the 32-yard line before Anthony Lott brings him to the turf.
It's that bend back, that cut back. There's got to be a linebacker on the backside. You see 45 Bartley get caught inside. That's got to be his play when they come back. You see Bartley caught inside. He's got to make that play on the cutback by the tailback.
McLaurin had 78 yards last week against Louisville. Speedy hits O'Farrell in the flat. And the Wildcats have another first down at the 44-yard line as Lawrence Wright brings O'Farrell out of bounds. O'Farrell was the quarterback here for the previous 3 seasons.
And obviously such a good athlete that they ask him to make the concession and help the team move to wide receiver. Keith Counsell, David, nice pressure right there. He thought he might have Jeff Speedy, but Speedy was able to just elude him momentarily and dump the ball out to O'Farrell for a real nice gain, and more importantly, a first down for the Wildcats.
2 plays, 2 first downs for Kentucky. McLaurin, the ball carrier. Across the 45 to the 47. Jason Bartley made the tackle for the Gators, the senior from Jacksonville. And the Wildcats will have a 2nd and 7. Time ticking down in the first quarter.
You see the alternating defenders up front. Willie Rogers, 54 now in. Tim Beauchamp, number 93, also in.
Time runs out in the first quarter. The Florida Gators score on their first offensive possession and later block a punt, take it in for their 2nd score. And after 1 quarter from Commonwealth Stadium, it's Florida 14, Kentucky nothing.
And now let's make that random call with today's $10,000 question. Who shot Alexander Hamilton in that famous duel?
Hello, for $10,000. Excuse me? Oh, I'm sorry. Your time is up.
You know, Jimmy, we're a lot alike. We both work to build winners.
That's right, Coach. When you buy Osmose pressure-treated lumber from Great Southern Wood, it's clean and straight and backed by a lifetime guarantee.
Oh, Coach, they finished redecorating your office.
My office? No one was supposed to... I like it. I like it. So remember, if it doesn't say Osmose on the yellow tag, believe me, you don't want it.
We all know who's #1 in the SEC, and we know who's #1 for Gator fashion apparel. It's the Bull Gator, right across the street from the stadium. If you want the latest in fashion and gift ideas, don't even think of going anywhere else. Right now, the Bull Gator has a new catalog, so call 1-800-GO-SWAMP. Ordering is easy, and you'll love the prices. Don't wait till game day. Order now and be ahead of the crowd. Call 1-800-GO-SWAMP. That's 1-800-GO-SWAMP.
For centuries, the people of New Guinea have used a form of wireless communication that is simple, reliable, and convenient. So they can always stay in touch. Our geography is a bit larger, and our tribe includes all of humankind. Introducing AT&T Wireless Services, technology that sets you free. Call 1-800-IMAGINE.
It is Georgia 10, Tennessee 7.
After 1 quarter from Commonwealth Stadium, The 5th-ranked Gators 14, the Wildcats nothing. Kentucky with the football at their own 47-yard line. Kentucky is 2nd down and 7. Speedy on a rollout option, and he is brought down by Dexter Daniels, the senior linebacker from Valdosta, Georgia. Tonight's game has also been brought to you by AT&T Wireless, providing the products and services from the most trusted name in communications. And Citco, the sign of quality.
Boy, Dexter Daniels was really in there quickly. Didn't get a start tonight, and he's playing with a bit of hostility in his heart, I think, because he wants to be on that field. Nice play from the inside linebacker position by Daniels.
3rd down play for the Wildcats. And Speedy's pass is incomplete, intended for O'Farrell. Good coverage over there by... Looked like Mike Jackson, or rather Mike Harris had him well covered. That'll bring up 4th down for Kentucky. And Dexter Daniels on the field, probably just cramped up.
He's had a lot of just nitpicky injuries over his career that have slowed him down to the extent he's just not been able to play up to the potential that he wanted to play to, and the coaches hoped he could play to, and we hope this is just a minor cramp, but you wish he could stay healthy. Let's take a look and see if we can see what, yeah, just as he was running, he just looked like he cramped up.
Cramp, hamstring.
Could be,
well, you could clearly read the frustration with his body language when he slammed his helmet to the turf as heading toward the sideline. All right, Kentucky will try and get one off cleanly after Jimmy Carter had his last punt blocked. Jaquez Green, the man who blocked it, is on the bottom of your screen on the left side of the line. High kick, beautifully done. Anthony called for a fair catch. He fumbled the ball, but I think he got it back at the 6-yard line.
Well, you recall last year, Sorolla Palmer did such a great job consistently as the punt returner, but they feel that Riedel Anthony is a bit more explosive, and they want to give him a chance to see what he can do early in the season. But you got to make those catches. You got to make those catches, and that's what Palmer did so consistently well last year. But Riedel ultimately gets the ball back on the good bounce. In basketball country, got the good bounce.
We have an illegal block in the back against the receiving team during the kick. This is a post-possession foul. We penalize half the distance to the goal from the end of the kick. 1st down.
Not only did Riedel Anthony struggle with the fair catch, but it looked like he also injured his right hand. So he will not be on the field when the Gator offense opens shop inside the 5-yard line at about the 3.5, it looks like. 14 minutes, 3 seconds. We're in the 2nd quarter from Lexington, Kentucky. The Gators, Kentucky nothing.
Dodge changed the rules of truck power, the rules of safety, comfort, convenience. And while we were changing those rules, another one changed all by itself. New rule: Dodge pickups now have higher resale than Ford, Chevy, or GMC. Want proof? Check the rule book. The rules have changed.
Visit your local Gold Star Dodge dealer today for a great deal on a new Dodge.
Christopher Lloyd is the ultimate video game villain come to life, but when it comes to causing trouble, he can't do it alone. Enter Shirley Jones in a role that'll change her image forever.
Evil Shirley is a witch.
She's a computer-generated mother-in-law with a mean streak and an icy paw.
Mom? Lloyd, go back!
She gives a performance that'll have you frozen to the set, so chill out and check out the next Deadly Games.
Tuesday at 8 on UPN 47.
Early 2nd quarter action from Lexington, Kentucky. Florida with a 2-touchdown lead against the Wildcats. Let's check with Steve Babbitt.
You won't see Fred Taylor in the backfield. Fred Taylor hurt his right shoulder on that touchdown run. In fact, the pads are off. They're going to have to check Fred Taylor out at halftime.
Terry Jackson, in fact, is the tailback. And he takes the football from Warfel. Jackson, boy, does he run hard out to the 10-yard line. He was impressive last week.
You betcha. You see that little spin he made? He just kind of bounced off a tackle. George Harris ultimately on the tackle, but about 2 yards past the line of scrimmage, he makes a little nice cut. Now look at this little bounce right there, a little twist. That's what we have come to be excited about Terry Jackson's play. Is just he's so quick and nimble when he gets the ball. A different look from a different tailback.
Warfel connecting with Palmer. Sorolla Palmer is out of bounds at the 32-yard line as George Harris made the stop. Warfel changed the play at the line of scrimmage. It looks like he's shaken up a bit.
Oh, he's holding his left hand from the backside. Nice pressure by Chad Hudson, number 50. Nice clean hit. Beautifully thrown ball by Warfel, but he seems to be shaking it off right now and up to the line of scrimmage without a problem. There you see Sorolla Palmer in 95, 4 catches already.
Warfel's pass is intercepted. Stephen Hall off the deflection. Danny Warfel threw into some heavy traffic on the right side.
Looked like Ike Hilliard could have made the catch. Looked like the ball, I don't know if it was deflected into Hilliard's chest or not. Let's see if anybody hits it before it hits Hilliard. Ike Hilliard's wide. Yeah, the ball is deflected. That's not Hilliard's fault at all. Linebacker did a nice job getting his hands up, deflecting the pass away. Hilliard had no chance. Just good defense by Kentucky, and now they get a turnover. The Gators got one early with a block punt, took advantage and scored. Kentucky inside Gator territory as a result of that interception.
Warfel has thrown 20 interceptions now in his career. Now Kentucky has possession in Florida territory at the 43-yard line. Here comes a blitz from the outside. They picked it up well, and the pass is incomplete. What a great play by Anthone Lott. A terrific play as he broke up the pass intended for Leon Smith.
Well, the crowd can't believe it again, but it was beautiful coverage. There's no penalty here. Anthone Lott gets there simultaneously with a football. Now, Anthone Lott was elected most valuable defensive back on this team last year. That's just great coverage. That's no problem at all.
And
of course, the home crowd wants the penalty.
The Gators had an all-out blitz, and Lott had him one-on-one. There's no help back there.
And he broke on the ball when he had to make the break. He was right there and played it beautifully.
Speedy on a rollout. He breaks free at the 40. Rolled out of bounds at the 34-yard line. That is close to a Kentucky first down.
Taven Walton misses the tackle for a loss. Inside linebackers in position to make the tackle for a loss. Look to the bottom of your screen. Pitchman's covered. There's the tackle. No, the tackle's not made. Look at this. He picks up, whoa, he picks up over 15 yards after the missed tackle. Very close to the first down marker.
Jeff Speedy, tough junior quarterback from Franklin, Tennessee. McLaurin appears to have enough for the first down. He did not need much.
Keith Council with the first initial hit. Anthone Lott also coming up quickly with support. Take another look up front. Council fighting off the block of the fullback. Almost made the tackle, but not before the first down is picked up. Short yardage, they don't need much. Got the big fullback in there for the lead blocker to help out. They don't use the fullback in the open field, just on short yardage.
Option with Williams. The pitch to Williams. And he got racked up near the line of scrimmage. Big hit by Anthone Lott.
Mo Williams, not quite as big as Fred Taylor, but almost. He's about, they got him at 200 pounds. Fred Taylor at 215, but Anton Lott got every bit of those 200 pounds right there. Mo Williams, look at him dip after he makes the pitch. Speedy does a nice job making the pitch, dips that head, and he delivers the blow to Lott, but Lott was in perfect position.
2nd and 9 for Kentucky.
Lott has to go out. Fred Weary's in now. Also Shea Showers at the other corner.
Gators come with a blitz again, and that ball is batted down at the line of scrimmage by Mike Peterson.
Mike Peterson, the nickel back at 6'1". He's just a freshman from Alachua. Does a nice job of going right in the area where he thought the quarterback was going to try and throw the ball. Peterson does a nice job of getting in the quarterback's face. Jeff Speedy has no chance. Real big third down here for Kentucky, obviously, who has yet to score. Gators want to continue to deny the Wildcats any points. They got to hold them right here if they want to do that.
Big hole for Williams. He's got first down yardage and more. Williams to the 20. Mike Harris made the stop for Florida.
That's a trap. You see the trap on the defensive tackle. Didn't even have to make the block. The tackle was upfield so quick, a gaping hole there. The left guard trying to make the trap there. Doesn't even need to make the block as Kentucky picks up the first down. Bob Pruitt there in the middle, looking down from the press box.
Speedy stepping up. Council tripped him up from behind, and Bates had him head on. And a good pursuit by Council, big 66, and Bates coming from the other direction.
Yeah, certainly in the open field. James Bates got to make that play. Got to make the play, and he does. Keith Council, again, continues to be the guy that's putting the pressure on. Council on the inside. Actually, it was 56, Cameron Davis, forcing him out of the pocket. You see Bates making the open field tackle. It was 56, not 66.
Gators looking like they may blitz again. Now they back away. Mo Williams running up the middle. They've got good blocking at the point of attack right up the middle. And Williams with about 6 yards on second down.
He's got that forward lean that you love a big tailback to have. He's big and strong. He's as big and strong as any back in this conference. Out of the tailback position, he gets a lot of speed before he hits that liner of scrimmage. There you see Big Mo.
Another big third down play for the Wildcats at Florida's 15-yard line. Speedy going for the touchdown, and it is incomplete, intercepted. It was batted away by Weary and then picked off by Lawrence Wright.
And Lawrence Wright does the absolutely right thing by taking the knee. The ball comes out to the 20. If he tries to run it out, he probably gets to the 6 or the 7. Fred Weary seems to be the big playmaker in this secondary. Fred Weary, just beautiful job with the pressure coming man for man all over the intended receiver. The ball bounces into Wright's hand. The official thinks the ball's going to hit the ground, but it hits Wright right in the tummy. He takes the knee. The Gators have the ball at the 20, but that's all Fred Weary right there, and with a little assist from Wright.
That's Lawrence Wright's 3rd career interception. So Florida gets the ball back, and Kentucky fails to capitalize after they picked off the Danny Warfel pass. Terry Jackson nowhere to go as the linebacker is there to make the stop for Kentucky. Chris Ward. And it'll bring up a second down and about 9 for the Gators.
Well, Eli Williams not on the field now either. We'll have to check and see if he might be hurt. Fred Taylor having a shoulder problem.
And we also have not seen Ben Hanks on the defensive side since he went out early with an apparent foot problem. Orful's pass is caught by Hilliard. The Gators get first down with 9 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the second quarter.
Danny Wuerffel doing a super job of getting that ball over the extended arms of the linebackers. The linebackers take that drop in the 10-yard area. They jump up in the passing lanes trying to tip the ball like they did on the last interception, but Wuerffel got it over their hands for the first down.
Numbers on Wuerffel. He's working with the fullback on this sequence for the first time tonight, Jerome Evans. Big 34. Short drop. Whoa. And Doring, with his third catch of the night, out of bounds at the 41-yard line.
Oh, the crowd oohed and ahhed as they thought David Ginn, number 44, was going to step into that passing lane and intercept that football.
And run untouched about 40 yards for a Kentucky touchdown.
Watch number 44 just can't quite get there. It looked a lot closer than that in real time from up here.
Jackson, nice cut. And he is a tough man to bring down. Finally, Reggie Rusk does at the 46-yard line of the Wildcats.
Well, of course, you got to remember, this is the little brother of Willie Jackson, Terry Jackson, with those great athletic genes in this family, and he just continues to spin and hustle and churn. Oh, an exciting young back. Aren't we fortunate to have him on that sideline when Fred Taylor and Eli Williams are nursing injuries? Pretty good average right there in 3 carries, huh?
Number 3 tailback in this Florida offense.
Was.
Yeah. Wuerffel gets the ball to Hilliard in a hurry. Ike's got about 8 yards on the first down pass. Lehman Boyd is there to make the play for the Wildcats.
Boyd, a junior. Once again, we talked about 3 seniors starting for Kentucky, a very experienced secondary. But they'll need every bit of that experience to slow down these Gator wide receivers. Coach Spurrier trying to talk to the troops upstairs to find out a few things that might help him make the proper call along the sideline.
Jackson cuts to the outside. Jackson to the 26-yard line of Kentucky.
To see him dip that shoulder, David, after he made that little bounce to the outside, he dips the shoulder and picks up another 4 or 5 yards. Great block out Jason Odom on the left side, Reggie Green on the left side. There's that cutback that the fun and gun offense produced right there. Whenever you get that surge, this guy, Jimmy Ray Stevens, responsible for coaching up those guys up front, and what a great job he's done. They got that surge, gave Terry Jackson a chance to cut back. Allen on the backside, tight end, making his block, keeping with his man.
Well, we know Fred Taylor is banged up a bit. I don't think Eli Williams has been injured tonight. Jackson is just playing so well that they can't get him out of there. Wuerffel tries to connect with Riddell Anthony, and the pass is incomplete. Only the 4th incompletion tonight by Danny Wuerffel.
Yeah, we'll have Steve Babick check for us in the sideline, see if Eli Williams is hurt or not, but it's... Let's go down to Steve right now. Steve, what's going on with Eli Williams?
Well, Jim, on one series, Eli got kicked in the ankle and was trying to work that out, so they put Terry Jackson, and of course, Terry done a great job, but you've got Fred Taylor out with a bad right shoulder, Eli kicked in the ankle, and Ben Hanks has a sprained ankle. Now, they taped up Ben Hanks and should be able to go back in, but there have been a lot of quick injuries in a short period of time.
Danny Wuerffel with more signals than the third base coach. Oh, he threaded that pass. To the tailback, Jackson again, at the 20. It looked like a disaster in the works, but Wuerffel and Jackson turned it into about a 7-yard pickup.
You're right. That play really broke down, mainly because of excellent coverage by Kentucky in the secondary. He goes to his alternative receiver, the tailback, who's hooked up in front of 3 linebackers. They're all standing there. I thought one of them might jump on the ball. Eli's got a dejected look on his face. We'll continue to follow that story, see if he can get back in there, but right now it's Terry Jackson.
And the Gators at the Wildcat 20. Warfel chooses to call timeout. A big third down play, and Danny didn't like something about what he saw. So he'll make sure he's got the right play and step to the sideline to chat with head coach Steve Spurrier.
See Eric Kresser again with Coach Spurrier. The guys mentioned in the open that Kresser was going to see a lot of action. It was predetermined last week against Houston, but that was to give him game experience under pressure. But after that point in time, Coach Spurrier had determined that Danny Wuerffel was going to be the guy at quarterback. And it's Wuerffel's first half here.
Well, I'm sure a lot of folks around the country wondered when Wuerffel and Kresser split the time last week if the Gators were looking at another Terry Dean, Danny Wuerffel type situation with a bit of a controversy at quarterback, but that obviously is not the case in Steve Spurrier's mind.
No, it wasn't at all. He had predetermined that Kresser would play in the second quarter last week. Had nothing to do with Wuerffel's performance in the first quarter.
Doring and Anthony are wide to the left side.
Third down, big third down conversion in Kentucky territory.
3rd and 4, that's Hilliard wide to the right. They're going to give it to Jackson. And Jackson is inside the 15, and he picks up the first down.
Showing a lot of poise right there. Instead of just jamming his body into a small hole or no hole behind Reggie Green, look at the cutback. Oh, who's that? Is that Donnie Young? Donnie Young. Awesome block on the backside by the big guy, number 75. Working against Thad Corbin, number 68. There you see the big guy on the right side.
Gators are first down just inside the Kentucky 15. And again, Danny Wuerffel calls timeout. The Gators have used 2 of their allotted 3 timeouts in the first half here on this drive. So again, Wuerffel talked with the coach. 6 minutes, 7 seconds to play in the second quarter. And the Gators still up 14-0.
Preceding arguments for sliding doors on both sides were brought to you courtesy of the new Dodge Caravan. Just as original as the original.
Coast to coast. From small communities to urban America. By building on the success of local independent businesses, this once little-known company has quietly grown surprisingly big. In fact, today it serves you at over 13,000 locations across America. More than any of these companies you already know. Citgo, the sign of quality.
I want to know what you think. I believe we made our great tasting brown hot dog even better. It's beefier now, juicier, spiced just the way you like it. In fact, I don't think you'll find a better tasting hot dog anywhere. But I want to know what you think. So try our new Bryan Juicy Jumbos and give me a call. Let me know if you like our new Juicy Jumbos as much as I do.
We're back at Commonwealth Stadium in Lexington, Kentucky, where the Gators are on the move inside the Wildcat 15. It is first down and 10. On the play action. Jackson, the intended receiver, he was the man who Wuerffel faked the handoff to, and then he just ran downfield about 10 yards, turned around, and Danny tried to toss it to him.
4 wide receiver set, no tight end. Mo Collins, man comes off late, That's really no problem for Wuerffel. He just wanted to roll out, get another look. Throws the ball back against the grain, and Terry Jackson can't make the catch.
Wuerffel's got 2 wideouts, right and left, but he hands off to Jackson. Terry Jackson to the 5. Well, this guy gets more and more impressive the more you see of him.
On the prior play, when we saw the fake handoff to Jackson, it looked like it was wide open, even though Wuerffel continued with the pass. This time, he does it. Donnie Young again, making 2 blocks. You see another missed tackle there by Kentucky, allowing Terry Jackson an extra chance. That's Dante Key, number 87, couldn't wrap him up.
Wildcats called timeout before that ball was snapped. So that's their first timeout of the half. The Gators have used 2 of their 3. And the clock is stopped with 5 minutes and 53 seconds to go in the first half.
Don't you feel like a score here would make a huge difference in terms of the emotion on both sidelines? If the Gators can score, it's really going to deplete Kentucky immensely. Conversely, if Kentucky can hold, they're going to get to feel like, well, maybe we do have a chance. But the Gators can punch this thing in right now, give them a huge advantage psychologically.
Look at freshman Terry Jackson, his numbers tonight. 8.2 yards per carry. This guy was moved from strong safety late last spring to the tailback spot, and looked so good in the spring at that position that the coaches decided to leave him over there on the offensive side of the ball. And you can understand why. Another huge play in this quarter to turn the momentum was the interception in the end zone by Lawrence Wright on the deflection by Fred Weary. At the time, Florida led 14-0.
Gators 2 of 3 on 3rd down conversions. Here's their 4th 3rd down conversion attempt. A huge one right now.
Gators look to go ahead by 3 touchdowns and a big 3rd down play. Jackson. It looks like he easily will have enough for the 1st down.
Well, 2 things happen. Jeff Mitchell and Donnie Young get some movement, and Terry Jackson makes that little cutback. He's just very poised, running the football not only in the open field, but in short yardage situations, too. That's the 2nd time in short yardage he had the poise to see what was there, to look what was there. He just doesn't run up the back of his offensive line. Just a little bend back, dips the shoulder, make sure he picks up the 1st down.
The Gators are inside of the 5. Pitch to Jackson again. Terry Jackson, touchdown.
Now Jerome Evans, number 34, a huge block by the lead fullback right there. Cuts down the corner. Terry Jackson has no one out there after, watch 34, the fullback, top of your screen. You see Donnie Young pulling. There's that cut block right there. Blue jersey on the ground. Terry Jackson does the rest.
Donnie Young hit somebody at the line and then went 5 yards down the field and picked off a couple of more. That was the Terry Jackson drive. Bart Edmiston with the extra point. It is good, and Florida leads 21-0. Danny Wuerffel directing an impressive Gator drive, but there's the guy that picked up most of the yardage on that drive, freshman Terry Jackson.
Remember we talked about Chris Doering winning the hearts of Gator fans here in the Kentucky game 2 years ago? Well, maybe tonight Terry Jackson is winning a lot of hearts in the Sunshine State with his play. Donnie Young there. You know, Donnie Young making the block on the linebacker. That was number 49, Mike Schellenberger, not Snellenberger, Schellenberger. Schellenberger can't even see where the ball carrier is.
Yeah, he picked off 2 there. Remember, he picked off 1 at the line of scrimmage. Well, he picked up 3 on that Jackson touchdown run.
What do they call that in bowling? Is that something when you...
It's not a split. He picked them all off. The Gators lead 21-0 in the 2nd quarter.
Everyone's excited about football and the great spa prices at Sands and Spas in Mandarin. Save hundreds of dollars now. 4-person jacuzzi, whirlpool, and seahorse spas from $14.95. Over 75 models in stock for immediate delivery. Don't miss this big sale at Fans and Spas going on now. 100% financing available with payments as low as $30 per month. Free delivery on all sale models. Fans and Spas.
Although the thermometer is still climbing and the humidity keeps getting stickier, there's still nothing hotter this summer than the deals during Jeep Summer Days, now held over, where you can lease a Grand Cherokee Limited for just $399 a month. Get values over $1,300 on Cherokee Sport, including no charge air. And get deals that are truly steamy on the legendary Jeep Wrangler. But you'd better hurry in because deals this incredibly hot are bound to cool down fast.
See your local Jeep and Eagle dealer today.
They've covered the big shots.
Follow that Clavin!
And the hot shots.
I'm out of tape.
They've covered fast-breaking stories.
And don't look so mean when you're shooting.
And heaven knows they've covered their butts.
Can we do this again? Just once, really quick.
But you won't believe what they're uncovering now.
Then you thought we were a couple of screw-ups.
Find out what really goes on before the news goes on.
Guys are done!
Live Shot.
Tuesday at 9 on UPN 47.
Impressive, 80 yards, and using an atypical almost 5 minutes on the clock. Kentucky, Yee struggling here, and he's inside the 15-yard line. That's not what Kentucky was looking for to start this possession inside their 15, but that's what's going to happen.
Well, you got about 59,000 or so very disenchanted Kentucky fans here as we look at Coach Bill Curry, who we talked about had such a great struggle with this ball club last year. The year before that, as we've mentioned time and again, Kentucky really could have won that game against Florida. Kentucky went to a bowl game just 2 years ago.
Yeah,
but
they played the Peach Bowl.
Last year, only one victory in their opening ball game, and they've just continued to struggle since that time.
Ray McLaurin looking for the corner, but he will not get there, as Anton Lott, who has played a solid first half, was there to stop McLaurin's progress.
Well, Anton Lott's got to be able to come up in support to stop the running game, and he gets it done right here. Lawrence Wright was up there, made the ball carrier bounce outside. McLaurin had to bounce outside. See, right there, makes him bounce outside, and then Lott says, okay, you coming to me? I'm going to get my job done. Short game.
Speedy's pass, batted down at the line of scrimmage. Looked like counsel. It was 66.
Well, we mentioned against Houston last week, we thought of the guys playing up front, Keith Counsell was the most impressive, and he continues to impress tonight.
Let's go down to Steve Babbitt, who has a special guest for us down in the stands. Steve?
I've got a lot of guests. I'm with my closest friends right now. Becky Burleigh and the soccer team. They defeated Kentucky 2-1 on Friday. Becky, you paved the way for this team to have a good day so far.
That's right. We won. Now it's their turn.
Talk about your game. Close 1-1 battle. You came back to win late 2-1.
That's right. It was a physical game, but we just pulled it out.
The soccer team now 3-0 goes to Vanderbilt Sunday for a big game. And again, the group is here in force. You know, you're the only women's soccer coach at the University of Florida. I know that started the season off 3-0.
That's right. That's the only one here.
All right, let's go back up to Jim and David and guys. I may not leave this seat. It's the best seat I've ever had.
Yeah, you look very content there, Steve. I couldn't blame you if you stayed right there. But we might need you to round up a few more reports. Well, those Lady Gators soccer players are very aggressive group. I understand they play a physical brand of soccer.
Yeah, it's fun to watch the ladies play, and it's great that we've got that that sport at the University of Florida now. Scholarships given to many young ladies across the state, actually across the whole Southeast, that Becky Burleigh will recruit, but they're off to a quick start, and good for them.
We had some movement, I think, on the Kentucky
Motion
line.
in the offensive line was caused by the defense being in the neutral zone. By rule, the dead ball foul, offside against the defense, 5-yard penalty, still fourth down.
All right, there's a very complete explanation.
If you jump in the neutral zone and make an offensive guy move, it's not against the offense, it's against the defense.
Some of the fans here, I think, wanted to see the Wildcats go for the 4th and 1. Left-footed Carter with the punt. Riddell Anthony at the 35-yard line. He takes a look around, and that's what he sees. A lot of blue jerseys. 43-yard punt by Carter. And Dante Key was the first man on the scene for the Wildcats.
Look at this field position, though. 40-yard line. Great chance to get more points here. We talked about the psychological battle going on out there, and the Gators with a huge advantage emotionally right now with a 3-touchdown lead. And if they can get more points, Kentucky's just going to really be in an extremely difficult position.
Sorolla Palmer is now in at the wideout spot. He lines up wide to the right at the top of your screen. As Chris Doring wide at the bottom of your screen. And Terry Jackson is still the tailback in the Gator offense. Jackson with the football. Jackson to midfield. Schellenberger and David Snarden make the stop for Kentucky.
Did he have enough time right there?
Yeah.
I mean, 1 look, 2 looks, 3 looks. Dwayne Mobley now in at fullback. 1 look, 2 looks, 3 looks. That's what you want to give your All-American quarterback, all kinds of time, and the big guys up front continue to protect Warfel.
Danny dumps it to the fullback, Mobley. And Dwayne is to the Kentucky 30-yard line before Schellenberger makes the stop. Here's a play you don't see too often in that fun and gun arsenal. The fullback on a receiving end of a pass.
Yeah, he's a bit down the list in terms of options. But Danny Warfel again. Look at Mo Collins on the right side, the young freshman. Great job out there. Dumps the ball off to Mobley. We talk about the fullbacks being mainly blockers for the tailbacks in this offense, but once in a while they'll carry, once in a while they'll get a reception.
That was only Mobley's 7th career reception, his 3rd year on the ball club. Penalty flag is down. The pass is incomplete.
Oh, they might have got Reggie Green for a little extracurricular act after the whistle. But,
yeah, I think a flag had already gone down prior to that.
They didn't call Reggie for holding. They called someone else, I believe, but he got in a little bit of a scuffle there. The crowd almost called that play, you know, because Warfel had so much time. The crowd starts oohing and eyeing and booing. They said, hey, you can't have all that time. What's going on? And so the umpire says, well, I'll take a better look, and there's holding.
We have holding against the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat first down.
Holding against the Gators, Jeff Mitchell, junior center out of Clearwater. And that'll push the ball back to the 45-yard line. This offensive line, though, has done very little wrong tonight. Oh, Warfel fumbled the ball, and Kentucky is on it. The Wildcats have the football, and Warfel just coughed it up.
Well, he's just taken a 5-step drop. He just loses the ball.
I think it may have hit Terry Jackson.
You think it did?
I think it did. I think the football, as he raised it up to set the pass, was nicked by Terry Jackson.
Let's see, Warfel. Yeah, Terry Jackson just
left
dipped
shoulder
inside, tipped the ball out. Chris Ward, number 47, with the recovery, and now the Wildcats are at midfield as a result of the turnover.
2 years ago, Florida threw 7 interceptions Kentucky's way. Almost got him beat. Great pressure up the middle. Counsell was there. The pass is incomplete.
All right, that's what this Gator defense needs. It looks like the guy's going to be Keith Counsell. Keith Counsell's going to be the guy that's going to, week to week, put the most pressure with his pass rush on the opposing quarterback. You know, you can talk all day long about what might happen, but what you see is what you get, and Keith Counsell is the guy getting the job done up front in the front four, and he's just a sophomore.
Out of Orlando Evans, played on a fine football program that Bill Gerke has put together there. Speedy on the pass, intended for O'Farrell, and he short-hopped it. And the fans getting a little impatient with their junior quarterback.
Well, the
He's
defense
got a lot of pressure.
Yeah, the defense really had him out boxed right there. That it was a better defensive call than it was an offensive call. The defense was just aligned perfectly to stop this thing. He wants everybody to think he's going right. He goes back left. He's under the pressure. Nice coverage out there, even if the ball had been thrown well. You see Bob Sanders talking to Bob Pruitt. The two guys on your left right there, Carl Franks with the white hat on, coaches the offensive backs.
That's Keith Council on the ground.
Oh, no. Get up, please. Yes, yes. Attaboy.
Looks like a hand problem.
Whew.
He played a big game last week against Houston and has played very well again tonight.
He gets your attention, doesn't he? And that's what he's got to do. He's getting the offensive lineman's attention on the other side of the line of scrimmage. We know that. Let's see if we can pick up how Council gets hurt. In the middle, number 66. Oh, I think the ball might have tipped his finger. He's going to take a big spill right there. Hard to say.
Third down for the Cats late in the second quarter. 3:21 remaining. They're 3rd and 10. Campbell, the quarterback sacked. And that'll bring up 4th down.
Well, he's working against a big freshman tackle, Jonas Leaning, number 64. Mark Campbell gets up underneath him to the right of your screen. You see him get the leverage on the big tackle, the big freshman 64. Just lifts him up off the ground. Once the pocket collapses and Speedy tries to take off, Campbell just eats him up.
The Gators secondary had everybody covered up, too. Big rush. Carter booms it. Beautiful punt. Sorolla Palmer's back there to field a punt. He lets it go, and it's in the end zone for a touchback. So Palmer's the deep man after Riddell Anthony let one get away, although he did recover it. But Anthony also may have injured his hand to the extent that he did not feel comfortable receiving punts. So Sorolla Palmer was back there, and the Gators will have the ball at their 20-yard line.
That was that Jimmy Carter from Dunwoody, Georgia, we talked about earlier. As a freshman, really boomed that one, doing a beautiful job for Kentucky.
That was 51 yards on the punt by Carter. Florida's defensive line has put much more pressure on the Kentucky quarterback than they did against Houston last week.
And you see much more active inside linebackers, too. And some excellent big plays by Weary and Lott in the secondary and Wright.
Plenty of time left for the Gators to get more points. They lead 21-0. 2:34 to go in the period. There's a flag down as Perry Jackson breaks free at the 50. Jackson is pushed out of bounds at the 41-yard line of Kentucky.
It's defense offside. That's what it is. It's defense offside. That ball's going to be right there. Yeah, yeah.
Well, that flag was thrown at the line of scrimmage.
We have offside against the defense. Penalty declined.
You called it, Jim. Mo Collins on the right, a lot of poise. He did not jump. He went ahead with his block. He didn't jump off sides. Look at this little extra speed right here. Stiff arm, balance. Yeah, a little extra speed. Oh, almost had it down the sideline.
39 yards on the carry. Look at the numbers by Terry Jackson, redshirt freshman from Gainesville, out of P.K. Young High School. Younger brother of Willie Jackson, one of the great all-time receivers at Florida. Terry making a name for himself tonight. Danny Warfel, boy, hold your breath. Warfel is shoved out of bounds by Russ. That is not a sight that Gator fans want to see very often.
5 receivers, no backs. 5 receivers, no backs. That's the first time we've seen that formation tonight. I'd say he's been a bit accurate tonight, huh? 13 of 18, 169 yards, but yes. Please get out of bounds quickly, Danny Warfel.
Not a bad first half.
Mo Collins, a bit of trouble there late. Warfel having to scramble, and he wisely gets out of bounds.
Picked up 7 yards.
Oh!
Riddell Anthony trying to get to the outside, but a lot of blue shirts there, and to their credit, the Wildcats had him covered up. The linebacker, Ginn, wouldn't let him go.
Oh, didn't you have a sense that he was going to get crunched right there coming across the middle like that? You just knew some blue jerseys was going to fly out of the screen and just nail him right here. You're looking, oh, where's the blue jersey? Thank goodness it was a miss by Reggie Russ, number 2. He really didn't get the big hit that he wanted. So dangerous when those guys come across the middle. A lot of courage to make that catch.
Danny Warfel just taking what the Kentucky defense offers. You see the Gators throwing a lot of short stuff over the middle, and that's because Kentucky has taken other things away. James coming across the field. Very close to a first down, and it indeed is a first down for the Gators.
First down.
Well, it sure is nice to have a 21-point lead and get the crowd sitting on their hands. So tough to play on the road as you look at the Gators with big numbers passing the football. Kentucky with only 35, but what Coach Spurrier and his team have done is take the spectators, the fans here at Kentucky out of this ball game. They're really not helping their team a bit because they're down by 3 touchdowns. They're just rather stunned right now.
And Warfel's got nobody behind him. He's got 3 men wide right, 2 wide to the left on first down from the Kentucky 31-yard line. And Danny going to call timeout. That's the 3rd and final timeout of the first half for the Gators. Steve Spurrier a little frustrated as Warfel comes to the sideline. Steve just trying to draw up a ball play there for his quarterback. Let's go down on the field to Steve Babbitt. Steve?
You know, it seems like I keep coming on with an update on the injury list, and it keeps building up. Dexter Daniels and Caven Walton, 2 of the more prominent inside linebackers, both out with hip pointers. They may not play the rest of the night. Also, Keith Council came out, hurt his left wrist. They're not sure how bad. They're going to x-ray at halftime to see at what extent the damage is going to be on Keith Council. And I mentioned about Ben Hanks' sprained ankle. He's not going to be able to go back in. Of course, Fred Taylor's out with that right shoulder injury. And Eli Williams was kicked so bad above the ankle, he can't go back in. So it is Perry Jackson's night.
Boy, with Tennessee looming next weekend in Gainesville, those are some frightening comments from Steve Babbitt.
Well, the good news is
it doesn't sound like anything real serious.
They seem to be the type of injuries that a lot of ice and a little rest will help. But,
that was Fred Taylor.
They're banged up.
That was Taylor out of uniform with a Gator t-shirt on. So it looks like we won't see Taylor again tonight with a shoulder injury. All right. The Gators have 3 wideouts to the right, 2 to the left again, with no running backs behind Warfel. And he's got good protection. That's usually trouble for the other team, and it is again as Hilliard is driven out of bounds at the 14-yard line.
Well, the safeties have to drop deep in 2-deep zone, and number 50, Chad Hudson, who's 6'3", 234, has to chase Ike Hilliard. You got a guy 234 pounds chasing this swift wide receiver. It's not going to get done. This is one way to rest Terry Jackson, too. When you're down to 1 tailback, maybe you go with 5 wide receivers from time to time. That's what Coach Spurrier's doing.
And if he gets protection, it's big, big trouble for Kentucky. Chris Doering, touchdown Gators. When you got 5 wideouts spreading that defense out like that, Kentucky has got to get some pressure on the Florida quarterback. Doering with his 2nd touchdown reception of the game.
Look at the protection up front. All kinds of time. 5 wide receivers. He doesn't need much time because he sees Doering has split the secondary so easily. He goes to Doering immediately. And the crowd, as you mentioned, has seen much too much of this guy over the last 3 years.
Barn Edmiston threads the extra point. The Gators have now a 4-touchdown lead. Doering, the senior from Gainesville, now has 17 career touchdown catches. And, 3 of them right here on this turf at Commonwealth Stadium in Lexington, Kentucky.
King offers amusement castle like nothing you've ever experienced before. Don't miss it. King Arthur's Amusement Castle, Beach Boulevard, Jacksonville.
It's a dramatically different Tuesday on UPN. First on Deadly Games, Christopher Lloyd squares off against one bad mama.
Evil Shirley is a witch.
Shirley Jones returns to television with a vengeance.
Huh?
Lloyd, go back!
Then on Live Shot, a ruthless killer, a reckless reporter, a story that could kill her.
Oh, God.
Deadly Games and Live Shot.
Tuesday at 8 on UPN 47.
My philosophy for a talk show is simple. Somebody's got to say something. And not only that, somebody else has to be listening. Because if they're not, then you've got an hour of somebody talking and nobody listening, and Larry King's got that market cornered. And even worse, if nobody's listening and nobody is talking, then what have you got? Well, I don't know either, but I'll bet it would be pretty quiet.
Premieres in September on UPN 47.
Fred Taylor carried one in, and Jackson the other. There you see the numbers on Doring. Kentucky fans have seen far too much of this over the years, although, as we said 2 years ago, they were a 6-5 regular season team, and then gave Clemson a good fight in the Peach Bowl. Kick by Teague is taken by Yeast. And Yeast brings it out near the 20, but about to the 17 or 18-yard line. Now there is a diehard fan. Either that or he stood under a tree and the birds got him.
Carlton pouncing on him right here. Look at Pouncey on the move. Great effort by these specialty teams coached by Ron Zook. That guy's discouraged. You know, he just can't understand why his team is not able to put the brakes on the Florida offense at all.
Bo Williams still running hard late in the first half. Out to the 25, about a 6-yard carry for Williams.
Now you're looking at an offense that's predicated on 2 tight ends in the running game. They're down 28 points, and the crowd is a bit edgy because they say, hey, this offense isn't going to help us when we're down 28 points, but really that's all they got. That's all they got. Their only chance to win was to control the football, keep it away from Warfel and the Gators, but they've not been able to do it, and the Gators have the big 4-touchdown lead.
Speedy's pass is caught by Isaac Curtis. Yes, he is the son of the Bengals all-time leading receiver. That's Isaac Curtis III. He's a big fella. About 6'3", 230. Moved from wide out to tight end.
His dad was one of the greatest in the NFL. Yeah, he's beefed up quite a bit since he came here to Kentucky. He's probably got a chance in the NFL as well.
I would think so. He caught a couple of passes last week against Louisville. First down for the Cats, but this is going to be the last play of the first half. They're 70 yards from the end zone. And that's the way the half is going to end, on a Mike Moten sack. And that pretty much sums up the first half of play. The Gator defense dominating. The Gator offense able to score 4 touchdowns, and another look.
So they've alternated personnel up front, trying to get the fresh guys on the field. That time Moten, David Bernard, and it was also 93 Tim Beauchamp. And on the sack, as you see the Gators leading at halftime, 28-0.
Well, the Gators offensively very impressive, with only a couple of breakdowns, an interception and a fumble in the first half. And they have the Wildcats shut out at the end of 2 quarters from Commonwealth Stadium. 28-0, our halftime score.
We all know who's #1 in the SEC, and we know who's #1 for Gator fashion apparel. It's the Bull Gator, right across the street from the stadium. If you want the latest in fashion and gift ideas, don't even think of going anywhere else. Right now, the Bull Gator has a new catalog, so call 1-800-GO-SWAMP. Ordering is easy, and you'll love the prices. Don't wait till game day. Order now and be ahead of the crowd. Call 1-800-GO-SWAMP. That's 1-800-GO-SWAMP.
For centuries, the people of New Guinea have used a form of wireless communication that is simple, reliable, and convenient. So they can always stay in touch. Our geography is a bit larger, and our tribe includes all of humankind. Introducing AT&T Wireless Services, technology that sets you free. Call 1-800-IMAGINE.
28-0, our halftime score at Commonwealth Stadium. Live pay-per-view coverage of the Florida Gators and the Kentucky Wildcats. Hello again, Larry Vitale with Frank Frangie. Welcome to our halftime here at Commonwealth Stadium. The Gators starting off the SEC in style. Frank, we talked so much about that opening possession on offense and defense. Kentucky drove the ball a little bit. Then the Gator defense bowed its back. I think a very important play there around midfield to turn that ball, stop Kentucky and get possession quickly.
Yeah, I thought Florida played very well in the early going. The offense was efficient. That's really been the trademark of this offense under Steve Spurrier, is efficiency. They were very efficient, never huddled the entire first half, went without a huddle, was very efficient offensively, and the defense really did good work. The defensive line really rotating players in and out, Bob Pruitt and his staff. I think that's the real key. Mike Moten making plays, Keith Council making plays. Good work from the defensive front.
I tell you got to tip your hat to Keith Council. I thought he came off the ball and was really a ferocious pass rusher. Speedy was hit on almost every throw.
Yeah, and that's the key, is use players. They've talked about, they don't have that line they had last year, so use a number of players, and they've used a number of players defensively. I think that's been a key.
One other thing the Florida Gators got in the first half of this game, a turnover, an interception, great coverage by Fred Weary, and Lawrence Wright got the tip.
I thought Fred made a particularly good play. Had to come into the game with Anthony Lott banged up a little bit, came into the game and made a very good play and allowed Lawrence Wright to get a big interception. Takeaways is what this team hasn't done. They did a good job there.
2 touchdowns in each quarter for the Florida Gators. 2 touchdowns for Chris Doering in the first half. We spent a lot of time talking about Chris in the pregame, and he certainly has stepped it up tonight in the SEC opener. Now it's time to get the latest news from the University of Florida.
Nearing 40 years of research. Everyone benefits from the University of Florida Health Science Center. Available just this year. A saliva-based HIV test for personal use and an eye drop to treat glaucoma. The Health Science Center at the University of Florida, where caring and commitment combine for quality education and health.
Our halftime guest is Phil Griffin. Phil is the Associate Director for Alumni Affairs at the University of Florida. Phil, thanks for being with us. I know you're greatly involved with the Gator clubs all around Florida and all over the country. Tell us about the development of Gator clubs over the last 5-10 years.
Well, David, they've certainly taken off tremendously. The last couple of years, we've had a huge influx of out-of-state clubs being developed nationally and internationally. We have a number of international clubs. We're up over 90 total clubs now, and that program just continues to develop every year. Once we get the clubs developed, we try to look at other areas around there that can tie in with them. We recently had, unexpectedly, a group from Antarctica contact us, a group of people that work up there 6 months out of the year. They've started their own club. They're hopefully going to be chartered very shortly. Have a group in Honolulu, Hawaii that's gotten together, and just they're popping up everywhere across the nation.
Got to wonder about the daily flight schedule from Gainesville to Antarctica. That might be tough to get to that Gator Club, I would think.
Very tough, I'm sure. I'm asking Wayne if I can make a trip, though, because I'd like to do that sometime.
What about what's going on with the internet and Gator clubs and how that helps your organization grow?
Well, it's helpful to us because of the communication factor. It's very important for us to have a lot of communication between our clubs and between the clubs in our office. Any mechanism we can use for that, and as you know, this is the information age and the internet age, and we have a university homepage now on the internet, on the World Wide Web, and we're developing one for the National Alumni Association so that everybody who's online out there can get up-to-date information, and a lot of that is going to be tied into the Gator clubs, what they're doing in their local areas as far as events go, informational contacts through the Gator Club, so anybody anywhere can tie into the network.
You know, I think there's a perception out there among a lot of Gators that Gator clubs benefit only athletics, but that's not the case, is it, Phil?
It's definitely not the case, and more so now than ever in the past. The Gator clubs were developed initially and had that athletic orientation. Now they do a tremendous job in helping us specifically recruit students to the university, National Merit Scholars specifically. Not only the recruitment of the students and receptions for the students and their families, but also in scholarship programs. This fall semester, we're going to actually award over $110,000 in Gator Club scholarships to students from their local areas. In the foundation, these Gator clubs have endowments of over $500,000. So they've done a tremendous job. As you probably know, the university is ranked in the top 5 nationally as far as the number of National Merit Scholars in the freshman class each year. And the Gator clubs, I think, are a big part of the reason we've been successful with that.
The drive to sell license plates, which raise money for the university, how is that going? What's the latest information on that?
It's going tremendously well. We've recently gotten an update. This past year, the income for that was over $1.3 million. Over 85,000 people have taken advantage of that and are supporting the university through that mechanism. It's tremendous because the money goes to a lot of different types of programs on campus, including, and I think most importantly, scholarships and graduate fellowships for students so that they can actually continue their education. And I think that's where the real strength of that program is.
Phil, thanks for your time. It's always a pleasure to see you.
It's always nice to be here.
Phil Griffin, our guest here at halftime. Now let's send it back downstairs to Larry Vitale and Frank Frangie.
Okay, thank you very much, David Steele. It is 28-0 here at halftime. The Florida Gators dominating the Kentucky Wildcats on this special live pay-per-view telecast of Gator football here on Sports Channel. I want to say hi to all the Gators that are tuned in, not only throughout the state of Florida, but I know a lot of Gator clubs around the country are watching today's game. And talking with Bill about the Gator clubs, obviously a great time to say hi, especially the Gotham Gators, who have 2 very important guests with them tonight, President and Mrs. John Lombardi. President of the University of Florida and his wife are up there with those Gotham Gators. And Jeremy, those Gator clubs all over the state and all over the country, I know, awfully important to your program.
A big part of our success, Larry. I've said it often, the best fans in America are Gator fans. They follow us everywhere. They follow us on TV, satellite, here in Kentucky, wherever we go, and they're a big part of what we do, no doubt about it.
Jeremy, talk about this pay-per-view telecast. What goes into it and who benefits?
Well, first of all, our fans benefit. It's the only way we have the opportunity to bring the game back to the state of Florida under CFA rules, and so we want an opportunity for as many fans as possible to see the ball game. Obviously, there's some costs involved, and we recognize our fans have to pay for that, but what we do with the funds that we generate is donated to the library system at the University of Florida. So I think it's a win-win situation all the way around, Larry, and hopefully our fans back in Florida are enjoying it.
3 straight years you've been able to have an event like this, 2 here in Kentucky, last year against Vanderbilt up in Nashville, and that's building up quite a total for the library. I know they're going to be able to put that money to good use.
Well, hopefully. That's part of the deal. As I said, win-win for everybody, and we hope that we continue it in the future.
Win, win, win. We can keep saying win. Every Florida team unbeaten. It's early in the year, obviously, but let's talk a little bit about the fall schedule. And one exciting thing, a new soccer program has had 2 matches, and you've drawn 6,000 fans to those 2 soccer matches.
Well, it's outstanding, and that's a program that deserves it. Becky Burley and her staff have done a wonderful job getting the kids ready to play. The fan response last weekend against Florida State, a moment in Florida history that none of us will forget, that we're there. Come back the next day to win in overtime, come up here to Kentucky yesterday and win, go on the road tomorrow to play Vanderbilt. And so we thought we could be competitive very, very quickly in that sport, and I think Becky's done the job there. So we're very excited about having another sport being successful for the Gators.
Florida volleyball has been phenomenal, among the tops in the nation in attendance, led the nation in attendance last year. Mary Wise gets her team to the Final Four twice, coaches the World University Games this summer, and I know it's going to be another great year of Florida volleyball.
We think so. Of course, they're undefeated. They play a big match tonight against Long Beach State. I think is ranked 4th in the country. So Mary and Steve's program have kind of set the tone for our whole athletic program the last several years, winning SEC championships. Becky's now adding to that. So we like to get off the year on a good foot. Looks like we're doing that again.
Jeremy, I know one thing the Florida Gators have been doing, everyone in the country has been addressing women's sports, creating more opportunities, and you're in the process of launching softball for the spring of '97.
Yeah, we were getting ready to do that. We hired Larry Ray a week ago, who comes to us from the University of Arizona, where they've won the national championship, I believe, 3 out of the last 4 years. He's a top quality coach. We're getting ready to build a new stadium, build a new facility out there, and so we are excited about launching that program and think that's another sport we can be very competitive in very, very quickly.
Jeremy, it's amazing what the Florida Gators accomplish in all sports. Everyone who watches, and certainly those of us on Sports Channel, enjoy every minute of it. Congratulations on what you've done. I know it's a new year. You want more success. Good luck getting it.
Well, thank you very much. And, of course, the credit goes to the coaches. They do an outstanding job for the Gators.
Gator Athletic Director Jeremy Foley, our guest here at halftime at Commonwealth Stadium in Lexington. Our score, the Florida Gators 28, the Kentucky Wildcats nothing.
I've got some startling news for you about your life insurance. Many people don't know it, but the premiums for the same coverage can differ widely from company to company, and you could save hundreds, even thousands of dollars by shopping around. Well, there's an organization called Best Quote that will do the shopping for you for free. They compare rates from over 150 of the country's highest-rated insurance companies. They'll send you a free, no-obligation comparison of the 5 policies that have the best value for you. A 35-year-old non-smoking male can get $250,000 worth of coverage for less than $15 a month. At age 45, it would still be less than $19 a month for that same policy. Call Best Quote now for your free comparison. This is information you should have, and remember, it's free.
Best Quote's 24-hour toll-free number is 1-800-410-4334. That's 1-800-410-4334.
The hits. The plays. The scores. The teams, Gators and Hurricanes. College football. Catch it all on Sports Channel, where Florida's major college football teams play. Sports Channel, Florida's first sports network.
Back at halftime in Commonwealth Stadium, the Florida Gators, 2-time defending Southeastern Conference champions, and they begin defense of that title tonight. So far, so good. It's 28-0 at halftime. Larry Vitale back with Frank Frangie. Frank, an impressive first half for this Florida football team that really wanted to establish on their opening possession that they were here to operate this offense and get it clicking, and they were able to do that.
Yeah, they did. They played very well early. We'll show you some of those highlights. Some concerns, though, from the injury front, though, and we'll tell you a little bit about that. Fred Taylor and Eli Williams lost, it appears.
First drive ends with Danny Werfel and Chris Doring once again.
Boy, you think this is their stadium? Already they've connected twice tonight. This is an audible by Danny. He checked out of what was going to be a running play. Chris Doring wide open in the back of the end zone.
The Florida special teams had a big play last year against Kentucky, a big play here in the first quarter.
Larry, they showed blocked punt earlier. Didn't come. This time they did come. Jaquez Green got it. He's going to block a lot of punts in practice all fall. Coming off the end, he was very effective in that regard.
Lawrence Wright with the recovery. Whoops, a little bit interesting. Terry Jackson getting a chance to play a lot in the first half. Yeah, but Fred Taylor got the first running touchdown.
And I'll tell you why Terry played a lot. Fred Taylor actually separated his shoulder the play before this touchdown. Stayed in the game and scored the touchdown, but hurt it beforehand and was not able to return.
And redshirt freshman Terry Jackson, we talked about him in the open, a newcomer making his self-known.
93 first-half yards and played particularly well. Again, he's the number 3 guy. Eli Williams got kicked in the ankle. Fred Taylor got his shoulder hurt. This is the guy that's left. He played very, very well in his first significant playing time as a Gator.
In the last 3 quarters here at Commonwealth Stadium, Werfel to Doring 4 times for a touchdown.
Another audible. Danny Werfel saw something at the line of scrimmage. The audible worked. Chris Doring running wide open.
And with that, the Florida Gators had their 4th touchdown of the first half to take a 28-0 halftime lead here in Lexington, Kentucky. The Wildcats had a couple of drives going. They had one chance at the end zone, but Kentucky was not able to cash any of it in, and the first half numbers will certainly show us how well the Florida Gator offense played.
Yeah, they really did, and there you can see those numbers. Twice as many first downs. Look at the rushing yardage. Once again, Florida ran the ball well. Thank Terry Jackson for that. They threw well enough. 325 yards on their way to a 600-yard game again, 587 last week. Yeah, Florida very efficient this week. They were not efficient a week ago. Those numbers show you how efficient the Gators have been.
And those numbers are certainly something to watch if you're one of those people who are a big believer in time of possession, because Kentucky had time of possession, but they didn't have any points. Florida leading 28-0. Elsewhere around the SEC and around the country, a big win for LSU and Jerry DiNardo.
Kevin Falk looked very good in that game, almost 200 yards. The freshman, the very heralded freshman, really his coming out party today in Starkville.
Next, you've got a blowout. Arkansas, South Carolina team everyone thought might have a chance to contend in the East, but they're 0-2.
Arkansas can't move the ball at all. A week ago, loses to SMU, then leads 31-7 very early in this game and cruises against South Carolina. Brad Scott's team seems to have some trouble.
It's Alabama coming from behind. Southern Miss led them early, 10-0.
Typical Alabama blowout by 4. Alabama loses early or trails early, comes back and wins late. That's the way they've been playing.
That is life with the Crimson Tide, and a halftime score. Georgia very impressive in their win over South Carolina. They're a very good second-half team. Can they do it in Knoxville?
Significant in this game. Robert Edwards hurt his ankle early in the game. He had 100 yards in the first 6 minutes. He went out of the game with Georgia ahead 10-7. If he does not return, it's going to be very difficult.
The Georgia Bulldogs counting heavily on Edwards to change things for their running game. Auburn, this is a surprise to me, personally.
That it's that low.
Yeah, Auburn leading 42-3. Tennessee Chattanooga. This will make it 20-0 in that storied rivalry.
It's a storied rivalry. You'll see some guys get a little bit of rest, I would think.
Ole Miss and Tommy Tuberville looking for his first win.
Yeah, and he'll get it. Ole Miss is going to be better. There will be an improved football team.
The Florida State Seminoles gave up over 400 yards to the Clemson Tigers today.
Still allowed some yards, but they're so explosive offensively. Warwick Dunn, huge game for Florida State. Played very well.
Warwick Dunn, a guy some are mentioning for the Heisman. Elsewhere around the country, the Cornhuskers dominate the Spartans.
4 touchdowns for Lawrence Phillips. The story there, though, Tommy Frazier, an injured thigh, did not return middle of the second quarter. His status, once again, do they play with Brooke Behringer this year?
Well, Brooke Behringer did okay last year. He can get the job done. Penn State, a field goal in the closing seconds, actually the last play of the game.
Brett Conway snuck it in about an inch inside the right upright. A scare for Penn State, but they come out a winner.
Nittany Lions keep their winning streak going. Southern Cal, no surprise, big over San Jose State.
They're often ranked higher, the Trojans. Are they for real, or just as another year that they're not? A good start for John Robinson's team.
The Michigan Wolverines couldn't get the offense cranked up against the scrappy bunch of Memphis Tigers.
They do not play another ranked team. Michigan doesn't until the last 2 weeks of the season. Michigan could be a real sleeper for the national title. They're getting better every week.
UCLA in a tussle with Brigham Young. BYU trying to bounce back from just getting embarrassed by the Air Force.
Boy, tough year for the Cougars. They're probably the worst team they've had in 20 years. People that part of the country say, UCLA, we don't know how good they are. We'll see. Last week they beat Miami. We don't know how good Miami is.
Maybe a bit of a letdown for UCLA as well. Later on, a battle in state between Colorado State and Colorado. So that's where we are. We're all caught up on our live pay-per-view coverage of the Florida Gators and the Kentucky Wildcats. The Gators have come back to the field. The Wildcats are on their way back as well. We're just moments away from the second half. Our score, the Gators 28 and Kentucky nothing.
Discover the amazing training secrets of America's finest baseball school with Dynamic Practice Organization, a revolutionary new instructional videotape. Dynamic Practice Organization features professional scout and instructor Tommy Mansky with his famous building block approach to athletic training. This exciting instructional videotape features the same drills, techniques, and methods that have produced baseball world's back-to-back-to-back AAU national championship teams. Dynamic Practice Organization makes any coach look like a genius and organizes offensive and defensive practices that players of all ages and ability levels can't wait to attend. And immensely improves team communication skills and even conditioning. This is the instructional video that's a winner. To order your copy for only $29.95, have your credit card ready and call toll-free, 1-800-282-5020. The Dynamic Practice Organization teaching video makes a great gift, too. Call now, 1-800-282-5020.
Danny Werfel has led the Florida Gators to a 28-0 halftime lead in Lexington, Kentucky. Welcome back to everyone. David Steele and Jim Yarbrough back with you here at Commonwealth Stadium. No one covers University of Florida sports like Sports Channel. Catch exciting Gator volleyball action during September only on Sports Channel. On Thursday the 14th against the South Florida Bulls, and on Saturday the 16th, the Gators take on Houston at 8 p.m. Check local listings for Sports Channel coverage in your area. And a volleyball team, a big win earlier today out on the West Coast against Long Beach State. And they play another match tonight for the championship of that tournament.
Well, the scary thing as we start the second half for Kentucky is that the Gators get the football. Kentucky won the toss early and decided to receive. That means that the Gators have the option in the second half, and they're going to get the football with a 28-point lead. Kentucky really critical for them, if they're going to hang in this thing at all, is to put the brakes on Florida early in the third quarter. But can they do it? We'll see.
Brian Sabinski is the kickoff man for the Wildcats. And it is Anthony and Hilliard deep for the Gators. This is Ike Hilliard from about the 10-yard line, trying to set up a wall of blockers. And he is across the 20 and out of bounds at the 28-yard line.
Stopping him, number 8, George Harris.
Tonight's game has been brought to you by First Union National Bank. When it comes to service, everything matters. Dairy Farmers Incorporated, producers of fresh Florida milk. Great Southern Wood, makers of Osmos pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't say Osmos on the yellow tag, believe me, you don't want it. Dodge, the more things change, the more things look like the new Dodge. See your friendly Dodge dealer today. And Bryan Foods, the flavor of the South. Florida Gators take the football on the first series of the second half, and Wuerffel on a play action connects with fullback Mobley, and Wayne Mobley's out of bounds at the 39-yard line. That's his second reception of the night. Remember, he only had 6 career receptions coming into this game. Danny Wuerffel, those are the first half numbers, not including the one he just connected on.
Right around the 80% completion number. That's an awesome first half for Danny Wuerffel. A little bit of a late push right there.
Wuerffel already has thrown for more than 200 yards in this game. Hand off to Jackson. Jackson looking to break the 100-yard barrier, and I think he just did. He had 93 at the half, got about 10 or 11 that time. Let's go down on the field to Steve Babick. Steve, what have you got?
Well, you know, it's funny that you mentioned that Terry Jackson close to 100, because when Coach Spur was coming off the field talking with them, the first thing he looked at me and he says, does Terry Jackson have 100? And he also mentioned about, hey, we have 3 tailbacks here, Fred Taylor, Eli Williams, and Terry Jackson. Other 2 guys are hurt. It's Terry's turn to shine. And he was also quick to point out the play of the defense. Some nice plays down near the Florida end zone by, Freddie Weary and Lawrence Wright. So I think Steve Spur recognizes the defense doing much, much better.
Well, you might see Williams and Taylor get well in a hurry, the way Jackson has played tonight. That's Mobley again. What is going on with the flurry of passing to Dwayne Mobley? That's 3 receptions in this ball game. He's got to be tickled to death.
Well, one thing that's going on is the patience that Danny Wuerffel is showing, David, because that senior dominated secondary of Kentucky is doing a good job on the wide receivers, even though there's excellent protection. So he just says, okay, I'll just dump it off in front of the linebackers to one of my backs.
Mobley has been discovered as a receiver tonight. Jackson, first down to the 36-yard line. Keo Wilson, a junior from Paducah, Kentucky, on the stop.
Now, Terry Jackson, again, is 5'11", 201. He's a little bit heavier than Eli Williams, much smaller than Fred Taylor. But at 5'11", he's got that great balance and that tremendous quickness that we're seeing both of those assets work for him tonight.
And good instincts. I think we've seen that, too.
Absolutely.
Oh, the man's open. Oh, Jacques Green, the man who blocked the punt back in the first half. And he can fly, but not quite fast enough to get under that pass from Danny Wuerffel.
I don't believe Green has 1 catch yet in the '95 season. He almost had one as a touchdown. Does he have one?
No.
I don't think he does. He almost had his first catch for a touchdown. He was wide open, just a bit overthrown by Wuerffel. The crowd groaned because he was so wide open.
Wuerffel with an audible. Short drop. And he throws a little dart out there to Doring. Chris, in the first half, caught 5 passes. And that gives him the same number that he caught last week against Houston.
Yeah, he's having a great early start of the 95 campaign. He's the senior leader. Lehman Boyd, number 15, hustling over. There's the first hit. Now Boyd's going to come over, and yeah, that's a nice play. No problem. Just hustle. That's all he was doing.
Picked up 8 yards. Wuerffel again making a switch. Kentucky looked confused when the ball was snapped. Let's see if Danny can take advantage. Oh, there's nobody there except the goalpost.
Well, 17 on defense. Van Hiles hooked up on 17 on offense. Sorolla Palmer. It was like a pick in basketball. Van Hiles just having excellent position right there as Sorolla Palmer tries to get inside of him. Reggie Green losing his block there a bit late. Nice pressure by 98 Marvin Major. He's only a freshman working on Reggie Green right there, big 98. They got some good young players at Kentucky, obviously.
Florida's going for it on 4th down. And they're going to throw the football. Wuerffel with plenty of time, and he's got his man. Hilliard is out of bounds at the 11. Danny Wuerffel with all day to make connection on that pass.
That's too far to try the long field goal, so Coach Spurrier decides to go for it. He has no other alternative. Donnie Young. Tremaine Allen, the tight end, helping out there, too. All kinds of times. Jeff Mitchell. Mo Collins, just terrific time allowing the wide receivers to run entirely across the field to make the catch.
2 tight ends set. Wuerffel throwing to the tight end, Sean Nunn. Inside the 5. Lamont Smith made the stop to save a touchdown.
Kind of a bootleg back to the tight end. He's discouraged. He thought, oh, man, they never throw me the ball. They're not going to expect me to get the ball. I'm going to get a touchdown. But he's covered. Linebacker does a nice job on the coverage right here. See, there's a number 45, Lamont Smith, was in coverage there on the tight end.
Flag is down because the tight end on the left side moved too soon.
So Tremaine Allen's on the left. 91, Sean Nunn is on the right.
Dead ball foul. False start. Gets the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
So Steve says, well, maybe we'll just chuck one in there instead of pitching it back to the tailback. Wuerffel already has 2 touchdown passes tonight, 44 total. And his Gator career. Now the ball is at the 6. Well, they're going to give it to Jackson, and Jackson almost untouched to the goal line. He did not get hit, I don't think, until Rusk hit him 1 yard beyond the goal line.
You know, he hits the hole as quick as another 22 I remember watching for the Florida Gators. We all know that young guy named Emmitt Smith was so quick to hit a hole. The hole is gaping. It's huge behind Jeff Mitchell, Reggie Green, Jason Odom, but the quickness with which he hit it, so impressive.
Well, he looks like just a big-time tailback out here tonight. Jackson does, and he looked equally as impressive in limited action last week against Houston. Edmiston's extra point is good. Here's Terry Jackson.
You know, Coach Carl Franks is so proud of this man's progress throughout spring practice, as you mentioned. Now with a total of 118 yards unofficially, 2 touchdowns, thrown to the ground in frustration by Reggie Rusk there. Kentucky in all kinds of problems here, trailing the Florida Gators 35-0 here in Lexington.
You know, Steve Spurrier told Steve Babick at halftime that we've got 3 tailbacks. We've got Williams and we got Taylor, and the Gators have discovered a third quality tailback at Terry Jackson. Florida leads Kentucky 35-0.
You know, here lately, Great Southern Wood's been running a lot of funny commercials to try to get people to think yellow when they're building outdoors. But seriously, when you buy lumber from Great Southern Wood, you know it's clean and straight and backed by a lifetime guarantee. How do you know? By looking for this yellow tag. It means you've bought the best. So when you're building outdoors, yellow is your color. Remember, if it doesn't say Osmos on the yellow tag, believe me, you don't want it. Yellow.
It's the home of the big one. Larry Giant Sub. Nobody beats the Sub King. Larry Giant Sub. What King Conquers to the beat. Larry Sub is to a feast. At the home of the big one. Larry Giant Sub.
This month's special, Larry's Footlong Giant Delight, only $4.69.
Larry Giant Sub.
Although the thermometer is still climbing and the humidity keeps getting stickier, there's still nothing hotter this summer than the deals during cheap summer days, now held over, where you can lease a Grand Cherokee Limited for just $3.99 a month. Get values over $1,300 on Cherokee Sport, including no charge air. And get deals that are truly steamy on the legendary Jeep Wrangler. But you'd better hurry in, because deals this incredibly hot are bound to cool down fast.
See your local Jeep and Eagle dealer today.
Florida Gators, their big offensive line has really been moving some people out. And again here, but look at the cut by Jackson. Again, we talked about his ability, but his instincts are just marvelous. East from near the goal line. Good kick again by Teague, who's had a good night kicking off for the Gators, and he's had a lot of opportunities. East once again kept inside the 20. Florida's kickoff coverage much better, Jim, this week than last week.
Well, there's 3 or 4 guys that are just selling out on the coverage, and that's what you need. You need guys that want to be the guy to make the first hit. Ron Zook coaches those specialty teamers, and he's really proud of the effort, exchanging a high five with one of the guys along the sideline right there to congratulate him.
It is now a 35-0 Florida lead. Kentucky, its first opportunity on offense in the second half, and a pass is dropped by the tight end Cross. And that's the kind of night it has been for Kentucky, which has lost 7 games in a row here at Commonwealth Stadium. There's the drive, and there's an offensive line that is doing the job. Big Mo Collins. What a future that young man has, a redshirt freshman, 79.
Yeah, he's the nearest to us there on the bench. Well, that was Kentucky's worst nightmare. Florida getting 7 on their first drive of the second half.
The option, and Speedy gains about 7 before Anthony Lott brings him out of bounds. The only negative tonight for the Gators would be the injuries. Ben Hanks went out early. Fred Taylor went out early. Eli Williams got kicked in the ankle. We haven't seen him since the second quarter.
Gain of 7.
And Steve Babbitt will update us now on another injured Gator. Steve?
You know, David, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news to tag on what you're talking about, but Keith Council, the x-ray he had at halftime showed a dislocation in the left wrist. He's going to have surgery. We lost another defensive tackle. You know, Rod Broadway, defensive tackle coach, is going to be a lonely guy pretty soon.
Wow. That is some bad news for sure. Bo Williams barrels across the 35 to the 36. Jim Yarborough been bragging on Big 66 Keith Council and watching that young man develop last week against Houston and coming on strong again here tonight against Kentucky. That is very bad news for the Gators regarding their defensive front four.
Yeah, they tried to create some depth in that front four after losing those two great seniors, Kevin Carter and Ellis Johnson. But this really hurts with Keith Council going out. But he'll play with the cast probably halfway through the season. He'll be back, but he won't be as effective, I don't believe.
Speedy under tremendous pressure. Throws the ball out of bounds.
A defensive lineman that can't reach and grab. An offensive lineman with a cast on, no problem. A defensive lineman with a cast on, he's literally playing with one arm. Let's look at the pressure of the front four right now. Campbell almost gets his hand up on the football.
A couple of linebackers back in there putting pressure on as well. Second down and 10. Option to the left side. And Speedy is upended by Fred Weary. About a 6 or 7 yard gain.
Jason Bartley a bit late getting out there to make the play. I think it was Mike Peterson, 29, flying upfield to take the pitch away. Watch the safety. He's going to come up and take his responsibility, which is the pitch man. Yeah, there's Peterson. Great job, but there's no Bartley there. He gets there a bit late, and Jeff Speedy's able just to get outside. Jason Bartley got tied up on the inside there. That's the way they want it to happen. Third down, Kentucky desperately needing to keep the football and convert this third down.
They do not want to give it right back. They have not been very effective on third down situations. Speedy. And the pass is dropped again. And again, it's the tight end, Marcus Cross, who heard footsteps, I think, that time. They're 3 of 11 now in third down conversions after misconnecting on that third down pass.
Lawrence Wright in coverage, but watch Bates. Watch 44 get up. Nice job, James Bates. But this ball is just flat out dropped. Jeff Speedy getting no help at all from his big tight end on that series.
And the end result is that Kentucky has to do this again. Carter a low snap. The Gators with a rush. Palmer lets it hit 10 yards in front of him, and the ball is down by the Wildcats, down by Dele Alli.
Well, that
27-yard punt.
Excuse me, David. That Jaquez Green on the punt rush, really, that speed is such a threat to the punter. That's a real weapon as the Gators have right there with that great speed on the punt rush. Here comes Eric Kresser in for the first time in Lexington tonight.
Those numbers you're looking at last week against Houston. Kresser played the entire second quarter and a pretty good chunk of the second half. Career-wise, he's thrown for 737 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Handoff is to Terry Jackson.
Starting offensive line in there with Kresser. If you'll recall, David, when Kresser went in the first half, he had the first line with him, but when he played the second half, they had the second group of young offensive linemen on the field. This time he's playing with the big boys.
Steve Spurrier has not used his second offensive line yet tonight. 8 minutes, 19 seconds to play in the third quarter. Florida leads 35-0. Kresser almost ran into his fullback and then overthrows his receiver, Riedel Anthony.
A little too much zip, not enough air under that one. Riedel Anthony was swinging up the sideline. Kresser really wanted to lay it out there, but they talk about the strength of his arm right there. He had a little bit too much gas on that one, and Anthony couldn't get to it.
Danny Warfel, pretty good night's work if he does not return. 253 yards, a couple of touchdowns. He threw 1 interception. Gators have 5 men out on a pass route. Kresser, good protection again. He's got Anthony, but Anthony does not have the first down. And for only the second time tonight, the Florida Gators will punt the football. Good coverage by Reggie Rust, the senior free safety out of Texas City, Texas. Robbie Stevenson has more than doubled his per punt average from a week ago when he hit a couple for an average of about 21.
Well, this should help him right here. The team with a big lead. He's really under no pressure right here. This good experience for him to get out there and boom a few when it counts, but really not under any great pressure.
Kentucky coming with a big rush, however. And end over end. Good kick in favor of the Gators. And a dangerous play by O'Farrell to pick that football up. Trying to make a big play happen. 35 yards on the punt and a 4-yard return. And another injured Gator on the field.
Kentucky desperately trying to make something happen, going with the punt block. Who's our injured player? Can we make it out?
Tony George, number 1.
He's a freshman out of Cincinnati. He's probably got some family here. Cincinnati not too far from Lexington, up the road a bit. Hopefully this is not going to be...
Been a bad night for the injuries tonight. And the Gators facing Tennessee next week, and what will be a SEC contest of great implications. All season long, Sports Channel Florida gives the Gator sports fans exciting football action. You'll see the Gators tackle the Volunteers next Saturday at 11:30 p.m. And then on the 7th of October, the Gators against those LSU Tigers who scored a big victory on Saturday against the Mississippi State Bulldogs. On the 14th of October, the Gators against the always tough Auburn Tigers from Auburn, Alabama. Be sure to watch Gator football Saturday nights at 11:30 p.m. right here on Sports Channel, where college football is at its best. Check local listings for Sports Channel coverage in your area. All right, Tony George able to walk off the field. And the Wildcats with first down from their 34-yard line. Gator blitz. Picked up well by Kentucky. And the pass intended for Tucker is overthrown, and he was well covered by Anthone Lott.
Once again...
Rather Yeast. Yeast the man out there.
Right. Craig Yeast, number 24, on the post route because of the blitz. Anthone Lott's all by himself out there, and he's in the pocket of Yeast. Yeast cannot catch this ball even if it's there. Look at the pressure. You see the safety coming. You see the inside linebacker coming, and there's the great coverage by Lott.
That's a good job by Lott because Yeast has tremendous speed, and Lott is with him every step of the way. Anthone has played a solid game tonight. Speedy on the option. Gators have it covered, knocked him out of bounds at the 41. Anthone Lott again was there to make the stop.
I tell you what, that Mike Peterson, he's not about to let that pitchman get the ball. He is up the field so quick. He makes everybody else look like they're reacting rather slowly. Look at the bottom of your screen. Watch Mike Peterson. He's not responsible for the quarterback. He's doing his job. The inside linebacker didn't get there again. This time it was 56, Cameron Davis, the defensive end, hustling over there. He didn't make the hit on the quarterback.
Mo Williams trying to grind down a first down, but he will not do it. The Gators with a gang tackling of Mo Williams.
Now, will Curry go for it here? I think he's considering going for it because he has nothing to lose except giving the Gators better field position. There's Peterson playing the, oh yeah, nice tackle. Who else was in there with him? That was a big hit in the secondary right there.
Peterson's just a freshman.
I think that was Lawrence Wright helping him out there.
Kentucky is going to go for it on 4th down and a long yard on their own 43. Trailing 35-0. And the flag is thrown. The Gators pointing over on the Kentucky side of the line at Isaac Curtis.
Well, this is the new rule in college football. If the defensive guy gets in the neutral zone and makes the guy move, it's against the defense.
A dead ball foul. False start.
Oh, that was a break.
5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Does Cameron Davis get in the neutral zone? Oh, I don't know. They called it against Kentucky, and now they're forced to punt. That was a break for the Gators. Again, that's a rule change. Used to be that it was automatically, if you move on offense, it's your fault no matter what. That's
Sarola Palmer, the deep man. Riddell Anthony returned punts earlier, but He fumbled one and appeared to injure his hand a little bit. Palmer's been back there ever since. He races up, makes the catch on the dead run, and he fumbles one. But he's on it at the 39.
Palmer recovers his own punt.
30-yard punt that time by Jimmy Carter, and a 7-yard return.
Oh, this is scary. He's looking at the football and running full speed forward.
Oh. 30 yards.
He would have been better off to fair catch that, obviously, but no harm done. Just some experience gained.
We are late in the third quarter. Larna led 28-0 at the end of the first half. They've tacked on one more score in the third quarter. And Eric Kresser, for the second sequence, is the quarterback for the Gators. Kresser, strong-armed quarterback, finds Doring open. And Doring with another catch. What's that, 7 now tonight for Chris Doring?
George Harris.
The deep hook route underneath the two deep safeties. Finds that little bit of open area, and Kresser guns it in there. Super protection again. No threat up front. No threat. Looked at his primary receiver, Doring, all the way right there. You see the cushion he got from the safety right there. Tony Woods, number 29.
Terry Jackson, rather. Inside the 35 at the 34. Jackson tackled by Keo Wilson. Again, showing some shifty moves there.
Oh, now Reggie Green is limping. Oh. Come on out, Reggie. Rest yourself. Get out of there.
Reggie moved from tackle to guard this year, and he's made that adjustment very effectively.
I think he lost some weight, too. He's still a huge kid, but he's really lean for that big structure of his. And oh, I hope maybe someone stepped on a toe or something.
We have an update from Knoxville. Georgia has gone out in front of Tennessee 24-20.
Whoa.
That's in the third quarter. Eric Kresser throwing a long ball for Green. Incomplete. Well covered.
Had to be inside just a little bit more with that ball. He threw it too deep. He laid it out more towards the right sideline and let that jet kick into gear that Jaquez Green has. He might have had a chance there. They tried to get the speed burner down the middle. Nice coverage by 29 Tony Woods.
Gators now look at a third down, short yardage situation. Hands off to Jackson.
Jackson on the carry.
Jackson doesn't do anything but run straight ahead. He's got that lean that makes him very tough to bring down. Well over 100 yards tonight.
Kevin Johnson has gone into center, and they moved Jeff Mitchell into the left guard position for Reggie Green. Or maybe they put Kevin Johnson in at the left guard for Reggie. He plays center as well, just like Jeff Mitchell does.
Third down conversions. The Gators have been so successful on first and second downs that they've only had 7 third down opportunities. Kresser. And a fine catch by Riddell Anthony. Anthony at the 6-yard line of Kentucky. Put on a nice little move down there.
Was that a beautiful move? What poise. And a leaping catch, too. Tony Woods in coverage. Great protection. It's a deep sideline route. Oh, there. We ISO on him right there. Now he's going to break to the side. Oh, nice catch. Fingertip grab. Whoa, look at that little 360 and another little hesitation. All natural ability right there after catching that football. That was sweet, as my teenage son would say.
Kresser's pass is batted down at the line of scrimmage.
Kresser's pass broken up by number 95, John Harris.
John Harris, big 95. Batted the ball away. Harris, 6'4", a freshman from Jacksonville. A lot of Floridians, 17 of them on this Kentucky roster.
Now, there's so much talent in the state of Florida. Division I potential kids that Kentucky does a nice job of recruiting the state. Big number 97, Mike Schlegel. Got his arms up, bats it away.
On a draw play, Jackson jitterbugs to the outside and cuts back inside. He's in the end zone again. That's his third touchdown of the game.
And he worked for that one, didn't he? He earned that one.
This kid is something special.
Oh, he is.
Look at
Not
this
a whole
again.
lot right there. He's got to bounce outside. Then he just inside. Whoa, look at that dip right there. That's got him the touchdown. Huge hit. He doesn't cough up the ball either. Outside, now inside. Woo! Big hit too. That was number 15. Lehman Boyd really crushed him at the goal line, but he didn't give up the ball.
Edmiston again with the extra point. He is 6 for 6 in that category tonight. And Terry Jackson getting a well-deserved rest.
Doesn't look tired.
Nope. He's handed the Gators a 42-0 lead, and the fans in the when does basketball season start? Gators on top, 42-0.
Dodge changed the rules of truck power, the rules of safety, comfort, convenience. And while we were changing those rules, another one changed all by itself. New rule. Dodge pickups now have higher resale than Ford, Chevy, or GMC. Want proof? Check the rule book. The rules have changed.
Visit your local Gold Star Dodge dealer today for a great deal on a new Dodge.
Christopher Lloyd is the ultimate video game villain come to life, but when it comes to causing trouble, he can't do it alone. Enter Shirley Jones in a role that'll change her image forever.
Evil Shirley is a witch.
She's a computer-generated mother-in-law with a mean streak and an icy paw.
Mom? Lloyd, go back!
She gives a performance that'll have you frozen to the set, so chill out and check out the next Deadly Games.
Tuesday at 8 on UPN 47. We got the shooter.
Locked up the wrong brother.
How would you and a friend like the opportunity to see a special advanced screening of Universal Pictures' Clockers, directed by Spike Lee? Simply visit Vision Hair Salon at Southside in Atlantic and pick up your complimentary pass for 2 while supplies last. Enjoy Clockers on us, your movie connection, UPN 47.
I got scared. Bam! Then I ran. You mean bam, 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 bam.
Another impressive drive by the Gators. They lead 42-0 now. And we've talked about a quarterback controversy at Florida. That's been talked about the last couple of years with Bean and Warple. What happens at tailback now? Short kick, Yeast covered up. Somebody went flying in there. McCorkle, I think, wasn't it? Or was it? McCorkle was in there. Dwayne Thomas, 52, was the man who came flying in.
Thomas out of Jacksonville. He's a young sophomore. There's one flying body. There's another one. There's a third. That's 36. Carlton Pouncey, first of all. There's Sam McCorkle, the last body flying across the pile up there.
Jeff Speedy, still the quarterback for Kentucky, now trailing 42-0. And another drop pass, this one thrown low, and a tough opportunity for O'Farrell. That was not a well-thrown ball. It was dipping down toward the ground and nose of the football.
Yeah, it was like a slider in baseball. He had really no chance. That ball was going away from him. A little bit of pressure. The big push by the big guys up front. O'Farrell really no chance at that one.
Gator fans, about 10,000 of them traveling to the Commonwealth. Speedy on the option, hit by Lott and Lawrence Wright.
Gain of 6.
Jeff Speedy picking up some yardage. It's all really rather irrelevant. It'll look good on his stats. It's not helping the team win the game, obviously, with this huge lead that the Gators have, but this little option where It's the quarterback and or the tailback that get the ball. Speedy, I would have thought he had a few more yards than that, only 33 yards.
That's McLaurin now, the tailback, and it looked like he was just trying to hold on to the football as much as anything else as he hit the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that was a third down effort, too. Kentucky trying to...
58, Johnny Rutledge.
To run for it on third down.
Johnny Rutledge made the tackle, the freshman.
Tim Beauchamp on the defensive end right there. And Kentucky forced the punt.
Jimmy Carter in punt formation.
There you look at Johnny Rutledge, freshman out of Belgrade.
Jimmy Carter back to punt the ball again for Kentucky. His 8th punt of the night. He hangs this one high, sending Palmer back. Sorolla called for a fair catch and then let it hit. Beautiful punt. Down to inside the 10 at the 7-yard line. 65 yards on the punt with no return. A highlight for Kentucky tonight.
Punt covered 64 yards with no return.
Florida's ball at their 7-yard line, and Eric Kresser, who just directed a Florida touchdown drive. And a new offensive line. Deke Story put so much pressure on Jimmy Ray Stevens.
That shows you what lobbying can do, you know. Those are some big lobbyists right there, boy. They were wanting to get in the game. They might have put themselves in, you know.
Pressure hands off to Mobley. This is Mobley. And he lost a couple of yards back to the 5-yard line. Jeff Tanner, a junior. He is out of Mariana, Florida. Tanner, 55, on the stop for Kentucky. Jimmy Ray Stevens. He is a fine coach. He's got some good folks to work with, too, on that offensive line.
He was a outstanding Gator tight end in the mid-70s at the University of Florida. Got into high school coaching, did a wonderful job as a head coach in high school. Coach Spurrier gave him a chance to join the college program, and he's getting results out of the big guys up front on offense.
Florida's offense has rolled to a 42-0 lead as we have completed 3 quarters from the Commonwealth.
They've covered the big shots.
Follow that Clavin!
And the hot shots.
I'm out of tape.
They've covered fast-breaking stories.
Don't look so mean when you're shooting.
And heaven knows they've covered their butts.
Can we do this again? Just once, really quick.
But you won't believe what they're uncovering now.
Then you thought we were a couple of screw-ups.
Find out what really goes on before the news goes on.
Guys are done!
Live Shot.
Tuesday at 9 on UPN 47.
On the season premiere of Renegade, a diplomat is dealing drugs.
He's got $500,000 cash in his trunk from a cocaine dealer.
And working the system.
Diplomatic immunity isn't meant to shelter cocaine dealers.
Now, when a crooked cop muscles in...
Congratulations, you have a new business partner.
The dealing turns deadly.
He's a convicted murderer!
Lorenzo Lamas is the Renegade.
Wednesday at 9 on UPN 47.
Past 15 years, Gator fans have found that the best way to keep up with everything going on inside the UF athletic program is by subscribing to GatorBait, the publication devoted to Gator sports coverage. Every issue includes scouting reports, player features, award-winning columnists, and exclusive recruiting news. Now you can get 32 colorful issues plus the Florida football and basketball yearbooks for just $47. Call 1-800-782-3216 to order your subscription today. Don't wait. Get GatorBait.
Hi, football fans. Well, it's finally that season again. I'm Steve Spurrier with my friends here from Rodeheaver Boys Ranch. We have a game where everybody wins. When you donate a car, truck, RV, any vehicle to Rodeheaver Boys Ranch, you receive a full tax benefit and help a needy child. So call 1-800-741-2001 and everybody wins. That's 1-800-741-2001.
Tonight's game has also been brought to you by AT&T Wireless, providing the products and services from the most trusted name in communications. And Citco, the sign of quality. Third quarter score, 15 minutes of football left. Southeastern Conference opener for both Florida and Kentucky tonight in Lexington. It has been all Florida on both sides of the football. Eric Kresser, Gators backup quarterback. It is second down and 13 from their own 5-yard line. Kresser from his end zone. And the pass is complete to Nafis Kareem, a freshman from Marietta, Georgia. Is out of bounds at the 11-yard line. That'll be a first down. Van Hiles made the stop for Kentucky. I'm sorry, it's just back to the original line and a couple of more.
And I think that's Kareem's first catch. I don't think he had one last week. So that's his first catch of many, we hope. He and Jaquez Green getting a chance to join the Gator wide receiver rotation.
Look at the total yardage there, Jim.
Oh, almost 500 yards, and we've got a whole quarter yet to play.
Travis McGriff, number 3, is checked in. He's at the bottom of your screen, split wide to the right. Freshman from Gainesville. Mobley picks up the first down out across the 20 to about the 21. Mike Schellenberger has been on a lot of Wildcat stops tonight, and he made another.
Wiley Rich, number 59, on the field at center now with a nice block. He's out of Fort White, Florida. Where's that? I'm not familiar with Fort White. Do you have any idea?
I think up in Columbia County, north of Gainesville. Wiley went to Santa Fe High School.
They have Fort White on the program. Oh, that's a suburb.
Jerome Evans, the fullback.
On the carry, number 34, Jerome Evans.
Several yards on the carry by Evans.
Chris Ward.
Out of Arcadia, Jim Yarbrough's hometown.
Yeah, it's nice to see Jerome doing so well. He's worked real hard to get himself into this rotation at fullback with Mobley. What's Mobley playing tailback right now? They're both on the field.
Yeah. Mobley is the number 4 tailback. Eli Williams, Fred Taylor, both injured tonight. Terry Jackson has done his part. He's getting a rest now, and it's Mobley and Evans in the backfield together. Second down, Kresser throwing the pass, and I think going to be a catch for Travis McGriff.
All right, Travis.
That'll be his first career reception.
All right, he'll have many more. We're sure of that. He's got excellent hands, had a great high school career.
First down.
Of course, his father was an all-conference receiver back in the mid-70s.
His grandfather and his uncles and cousins, a lot of great Gators in that McGriff family. And
good job to hang on to that ball with Keo Wilson all over it. Gators first down early in the 4th period. Only 1 second on the clock, and they will not get the snap off. That'll be a delay of game.
Flag on the play.
Well, even when it's 42-0.
We have a dead ball foul, delay of the game, violation of the 25-second clock against the offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That man demands performance.
The athletics department would like to take a
he does seem a bit more relaxed right now with that 42-point lead. He's feeling much better than he did last week, even though the offense had some excellent production last week. You see a different level they're playing at right now, and they need to continue with that to make a run at the Southeastern Conference Championship.
Wayne Mobley getting a lot of work tonight, and he gets those 5 yards back, most of them anyhow. Also, Ernie DeBose is now running at the fullback spot, a sophomore from Port Charlotte.
Pat Browning, big number 73, a freshman, comes in at a svelte 315, now at right tackle. Kevin Johnson, number 53, we mentioned came in earlier when Reggie Green got hurt. Deke Story from Winter Park, big 72 in at left guard.
Second down play, Kresser has it batted away at the line of scrimmage. Jeff Tanner, junior from Marianna, Florida.
P.J. Harrison now, 69, a senior, getting a chance to play at left tackle. Nice job by 55, Jeff Tanner. Just getting his hands up. If you're blocked and you can't make any more progress, at least get your hands up. Something good might happen for you, and that's what happened for the defensive end, Tanner, right there.
Well, Jacquez Green just got his feet turned around a little bit. Kresser, if he knows if he connects there, then Green with his speed is probably going all the way.
Yeah, he just got turned around. I thought he was going to make the catch anyway. Doesn't have the experience yet in playing in the game for real, and he just couldn't get his balance after making that adjustment. He just couldn't. Kresser says, "Oh, wow, I could have had that one."
Robbie Stevenson, his third punt tonight. Freshman gets it away. It's a driving kick. O'Farrell fumbles the ball and recovers it at 15. Boy, the Gators are hitting some people on special teams tonight. Jason Bartley really popped him good. 50-yard kick by Stevenson, a 12-yard return. There's a flag down. Cameron Davis, rather, on the big hit. The officials talking it over. Referee Rogers Redding.
Illegal block in the back against the receiving team on the return. 10-yard penalty. Kentucky ball, first down.
Well, Farrell almost gives the ball up on the bounce, but no, there's the block in the back by 17, Van Hiles on Sammy McCorkle, I think.
We have a new quarterback for Kentucky, Billy Jack Haskins, but first let's go on the field to Steve Babick.
Thanks, David. David and Jim, I know you recognize this guy right here, former Gator wide receiver Gary Roll, who played in the mid-'80s, early 80s, and now it's Dr. Gary Roll. He's doing a fellowship with Dr. Peter Delicado as part of the sports medicine team here at the University of Florida. Is at every Gator football game now, and a different kind of operating for you, Gary, right? Not on the field so much, now on the sideline.
Yeah, still the same field and get game jitters, pre-game jitters, but a little different side of the ball now. Now I'm taking care of players and making sure that they're healthy and ready to go out on the field and perform.
Update us on your medical career. Where are you right now, and how are things going for you in that regard?
Right now, I'm in my last year of training. You're doing one-year fellowship, which will make me sports medicine qualified, and that's a surgical training fellowship wherein I assist Dr. Peter Delicado, learn from him. He's probably one of the best around, so he's a good guy to learn from. So I'm really just kind of tagging on his coattail and trying to learn some of the expertise of his trade that he's mastered in his some 20-odd years of doing this.
I know that wide receiver Gary Roll would have loved to play in this offense, huh?
Oh yeah, I wish they'd had Spurrier's offense when I was around. Who knows? Maybe I'd be playing in the pros and doing a little less doctoring. But no, on the serious side, it's a great offense, wide open. They throw the ball a lot, and receivers catch it a lot, and it would be great to play. But like I said, I'm on a different side of the ball now, and I enjoy this side as well.
Okay, Gary Roll down here on the sideline. Let's go back upstairs.
All right, it's great to see Gary Roll and enjoy the success that he has enjoyed in his post-football career. As you saw, the Wildcats completed a pass to Leon Smith, one of the better offensive plays of the night for Kentucky. And then Smith had it knocked away by Peterson, or Weary, rather.
No, it was Peterson.
It was Peterson, 29.
Yeah, Mike Peterson is just, he's been so active tonight. We've mentioned he's taken Ben Hanks' place as being the most active guy out there on defense for the Gators tonight. Of course, Hanks out with one of those injuries, doggone it, that we've been talking about. Hopefully he'll be back next week for Tennessee.
Dwayne Mobley, about a yard to the 40-yard line. 10:37 to go in the football game. Well, that Gary Roll was a part of some exciting Florida football teams. In fact, he was here in 1984, right on this field where Florida won its SEC championship that they have never been given official credit for, but still I know Gators everywhere think of that football team as the first SEC championship club. That pass was intercepted. Intended for McGriff, and George Harris, the senior, picks it off. That's his second career interception.
Really one of the few times, or maybe the only time all night long, either Gator quarterback has thrown the ball poorly. Just no way in the world you could get that football in right there, and George Harris, the strong safety, easily makes the interception. Kressler will learn from that mistake right there. Had no chance at all to get that ball in there to McGriff.
You're looking at our Florida Beef Council lineman of the game, Donnie Young.
Big beef for the big beef. All right, Donnie, super job up front. He gets a complimentary porterhouse steak.
You buying?
I don't know. That's probably not legal. I better not do that. It's an honorary award. Unfortunately, Donnie does not get a chance to eat the steak.
That's his appetizer.
46.
Yeast made the catch. And the PA announcer with a little sarcasm, I think, in his first down Kentucky chant to the crowd, and a lot of folks have already headed home, checking that basketball schedule just to see when it is exactly that Rick Pitino's team hits the hardwood. McLaurin over the 50 to the 48-yard line. Wildcats play at Indiana next week. Tim Beauchamp made the stop for the Florida Gators defensively. The freshman from New Smyrna Beach. Beauchamp wears number 93.
Correction, gain of 6.
Bill Curry and Steve Spurrier are peers. They both played college football at the same time. Bill Curry at Georgia Tech. Bill, I think, maybe a year older than Coach Spurrier. Then both played in the NFL at the same time in the late 60s and most of the 70s. Their coaching careers pretty much span the same period of time. Curry being a head coach longer, of course, than Steve Spurrier.
Here's a big, watch the pressure, but then watch the big hit on the end of the play. 58, Johnny Rutledge, very highly regarded youngster, comes up and really pops Haskins.
Willie Cohen's really responsible there for flushing the quarterback out of that pocket.
Billy Jack Haskins. And is it a completion? Yep. Good play by O'Farrell to scoop it up off the dirt. Mike Harris, sophomore safety covering out of Gainesville. And the Wildcats with a pair of first downs on this drive. Good catch by the former quarterback.
Billy Jack Haskins, not having seen any action other than one play, we think, or just a handful of plays before tonight's opportunity.
He played in 2 games last year, one of them against Florida, and that 73-7 blowout. Haskins completes another. O'Farrell on the catch, and Anthony Lott is the man on the stop with 7.5 minutes to go. Florida now trying to protect a shutout. Their last shutout was last year against the Tennessee Volunteers, 31-0.
As Anthony Lott again has played such a nice game tonight, working to get O'Farrell down, but right now it's Billy Jack Haskins trying to get that goose egg off the scoreboard for Kentucky.
Haskins option. Turns it inside and picks up another Kentucky first down. Lott again on the stop. But the Wildcats move the chains again.
On the stop, number 9, Lott.
Talking about Tennessee, the team Florida shut out last year in Knoxville 31-0. The Volunteers really in a dogfight tonight against Georgia in Knoxville with 9:40 to play Tennessee 27, Georgia 24.
That's 95,000 are into that game.
Haskins throwing deep for Yeast. Touchdown, Kentucky. That is that young man's first career reception. A freshman out of Harrodsburg, Kentucky.
Craig Yeast working on Fred Weary, number 24, wide side of the field, all kinds of room. He's just able to separate himself right there at the end with that speed, turning on another gear, making the beautiful leaping catch. You've seen catching the ball as it's faded away from the coverage of Fred Weary. Billy Jack Haskins with a beautiful toss.
Brian Stavinsky, extra point good. And Kentucky takes a long time to do it, but they're finally on the board with 6:33 to play in the football game. Florida 42, Kentucky 7.
We've gotten married and our kids haven't even met.
So we'll introduce them. What time does school get out?
They're turning two families into one.
Oh my God, it's the rat boy.
Hey, great. You two already know each other.
And the honeymoon may be over.
You people are savages. Can't you argue without throwing food?
Before it even starts.
We are not dating. We're married.
See how it all began on the very first Step by Step.
Monday at 6 on UPN 47.
It's a dramatically different Tuesday on UPN. First on Deadly Games, Christopher Lloyd squares off against one bad mama.
Evil Shirley is a witch.
Shirley Jones returns to television with a vengeance.
Mom?
Lloyd, go back!
Then on Live Shot, a ruthless killer, a reckless reporter, a story that could kill her.
Oh, God.
Deadly Games at Live Shot.
Tuesday at 8 on UPN 47.
My philosophy for a talk show is simple. Somebody's got to say something. And not only that, somebody else has to be listening. Because if they're not, then you've got an hour of somebody talking and nobody listening, and Larry King's got that market cornered. And even worse, if nobody's listening and nobody is talking, then what have you got? Well, I don't know either, but I'll bet it would be pretty quiet.
Premieres in September on UPN 47.
Jaquez Green darn near blocked that one. But the kick is good, and now it is 42-7. That man there, the freshman Yeast, who has blazing speed, got behind Fred Weary and is responsible for the Wildcats' first touchdown of the game.
Billy Jack Haskins leading that 7-play, 68-yard drive, earning himself maybe a chance to play a little bit more for the Wildcats here in the 95 season as he's led Kentucky to its only score of the night, and the fans were grateful to see that goose egg eliminated from the scoreboard here in Lexington.
All in all, though, Steve Spurrier has to be pleased with the play of his defense tonight. Frustrated a week ago at home in the opener against Houston. Werfel to Doring. We've seen it click twice tonight, and 4 times on this field. Twice in 1993, and again a couple of times tonight. Danny Werfel, his work for the evening long ago completed. He threw for over 250 yards before exiting in the third period, and there's Chris Doring, who already this year has 12 receptions.
Stavinsky to kick off for Kentucky.
Part of defending an onside kick. Well, you know it's got to be complicated, whatever Donnie Young's working on over there. It's got to be...
Stavinsky's kick, and Anthony should have left that ball alone. That was going out of bounds.
Yeah, now it's going to be Florida's ball on the 10. If it goes out of bounds, taking it to 35. Well, he'll learn. He just lost track of where he was on the field. There's some happy Gator cheerleaders that worked real hard for the team tonight. At least 10,000 or so Gator fans traveling up here to Lexington to cheer on the Gators, getting a lot of help from Albert. Gator cheerleaders.
Those Gators sections still solid with the orange and blue. 42-7. Fifth-ranked Florida doing nothing to diminish its national ranking tonight. Jerome Evans gets the call on first down. Eric Presser still the quarterback for Florida. Florida fans, you gotta wonder how many of these folks just pull into Florida Field, get ready for Saturday against Tennessee. They love their football in the Sunshine State. Florida versus Tennessee next week. Presser's pass intended for DuBose, thrown just a bit off target. We got a late hit against Kentucky. Mark Jacobs.
Yeah, 99. Mark Jacobs a bit frustrated. He's out of Shalimar, Florida.
Played at Chalkahanchee High School, I think.
Have a personal foul, roughing the passer against the defense. 15-yard penalty in the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Yeah, that's. And he put a little hand in his face as well. A bit of frustration there, talking to him along the sideline, say, hey, we can't do that. Understand. See, Coach Curry said, I understand, but you can't do it.
.546 to play. And the handoff is to Jerome Evans.
Evans on the carry.
Evans and DuBose are now the ball carriers. Dante Key made the tackle for Kentucky. So a pair of fullbacks back there. In case you missed some of the early action, both Fred Taylor and Elijah Williams have been out of this game since the second quarter with injuries. Taylor, a shoulder problem. I think a separation. Is that right? Is that the official word?
They used that word earlier. That doesn't necessarily mean surgery, obviously. It could be all kinds. There's different degrees of separation. Hopefully it's not that serious.
Draw play. And a big hole. DuBose. Ernie DuBose with a first down. Out near the 40-yard line. Let's go back down on the field to Steve Babbitt. Steve?
As this clock winds down for this Gator victory, you know, one area that the Gators also had to kind of fine-tune was special teams. Ron Zook obviously was not very happy with the opening day against Houston. The kick coverage wasn't real sharp. Obviously, the punting needed to be worked on. We've seen Robbie Stevenson come back and have a good night punting the ball. Kick coverage has been very good, and we've just seen a better play for a special team, so I think Ron Zook has to feel much better. Defensively, we've seen better play. Offensively, the only thing you go out of this game with is a bad feeling is about all those injuries.
That's been the only downer. Evans, the ball carrier, on first down, and the Gators have pretty much just tucked this one away now, leading 42-7. With only 4:10 to play in the fourth.
Yeah, the second team line continues to work here on the running game. The coaches pretty much put the passing game in the closet, trying to eat up the clock, and they will throw when they have to, and they might have to right now. But instead of throwing on first down, the last few drives, they continue to run the football first, throw second.
Hand off to DuBose, and Ernie DuBose gets another first down. Clock stops just to move the chains, and then we're down around the 3:30 mark.
Big Teach Story on the left side right there, throwing a nice block. Also 69, P.J. Harrison, big senior from Bushnell. They see Wiley Rich, 59. That was a good effort right there by that second group.
DuBose gets another carry to the Kentucky 47. Kentucky has lost after this one 12 straight games. That's a school record. They suffered through an 0-10-1 season in 1982. That's the worst year in Wildcat football history. Last year they went 1-10.
Next week they play at Indiana, one of their arch rivals in Bloomington. That'll be a tough game for them.
Presser wants to throw, and he connects with Kareem. The freshman is bounced out of bounds at the 28-yard line. Tony Woods on the stop.
Knocking out of bounds is Tony Woods.
Nice job. The guys up front, all kinds of room. Nafis Kareem, as the inside receiver, works his way outside. Little crossing action by the wide receiver, spreading himself up easily there.
Presser will throw again on first down, and the pass is caught. Nice catch by Terrace Ross, I think, is there, number 88.
All right, one-handed catch. One-handed catch right there.
He's a sophomore from Dade City, and that is his first catch.
Terrace Ross, so much potential coming out of high school. They really thought this young man would make a huge contribution at the tight end position, and he's still got 2.5 years to get it done, but that was just an inkling of what he's capable of doing right there.
Ernie DeBose bangs the ball inside the 10 to the 8. Only 1 minute, 41 seconds to play. Well, the Gators have worked out some of the problems they experienced last week against Houston. Obviously, Gators have tightened things up in a week. Had a difficult week of practice.
Yeah, focusing on what needed to be done against a team that they felt was much better than the Houston team that gave them all kinds of problems in the swamp. Still remains to be seen how weak or strong Houston and Kentucky will be throughout the rest of the season.
Penalty flag is thrown. And let's see what that's all about. We're inside the 5.
That's a mercy flag right there, I believe.
Going against the visitors from Florida. For all the latest scores, highlights, and interviews, be sure to join host Mick Hubert on Gator Hotline and Florida Football with Coach Steve Spurrier. When you want to know what's going on with the Gator football team this season, don't miss Gator Hotline every Thursday night live at its new time, 7 p.m. Eastern, and in Florida Football highlights every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on Sports Channel. Check local listings for Sports Channel coverage in your area.
Wiley Rich really gets lifted off the line of scrimmage there by big 67 for Kentucky. That's a learning experience, obviously, for these young guys to get out there and play, and they'll coach them up after they see these tapes.
Presser threw a dangerous pass. DeBose was the intended receiver. Linebacker Chad Hudson had a chance to catch it.
For DeBose, working up by Chad Hudson.
The protection breaks down there late. You see the difference between the front line and the second line right there. Presser under a bit of constant pressure right now when he does elect to throw the ball.
We're down to the final 30 seconds. Florida leading 42-7 against Kentucky. About to make it 9 victories in a row against the Wildcats. Presser with good protection. And the pass is caught at the 1-yard line. That'll stop the clock. 17 seconds to go. That's Nafis Kareem with his 3rd catch of the game, the freshman. And the Gators lining up, trying to get one more touchdown before time runs out on them. Presser hands off to DeBose, and he is apparently denied the goal line. And that probably is going to be the last play of the ball game. Steve Spurrier's already headed out toward midfield. Boy, what a job Spurrier in his 6th year as head coach of the Gators has done. Another Southeastern Conference victory against SEC teams. Spurrier's Florida Gators are 36-6, and that includes 3 games in the SEC championship game, going 2-1 in SEC title games. So Florida has only lost 5 regular season games against SEC teams since 1990. There's the final. Florida wins it. The 5th-ranked Gators 42, Kentucky 7. Final score, the Gators 42, the Kentucky Wildcats 7. Let's go down on the field with Steve Babick.
Thanks, David. Coach, I know a much better game played game 2 than the Houston game. I know the guys played much sharper.
Yeah, we felt like we were ready to play tonight. Really proud of the defensive team. Really played their hearts out. And offensively, we moved the ball pretty good most of the time. And it was a solid victory. Really proud of our guys. Played well.
I know Terry Jackson really came on with 2 guys hurt.
Terry was super, no question about it. And 2 backs in front of him got hurt, and he was ready to go. So Terry was something else tonight.
Defense been a good effort for you, Coach. I know that the last one was a tough one to give up, but damn, which puts a shutout tonight.
Well, hey, you know, we took one crack and then let the clock die. You know, Kentucky's mad because we took a shot at one time scoring, but, you know, Ernie hadn't scored all year. He deserved a shot in there. He ran well. So anyway.
All right, Coach. Coach wants to get inside that locker room with his victorious Gators. Their first SEC win of the season. They're now 2-0. Let's go back up to David and Jim.
All right, the Gators moved to 2-0 on this young 1995 season. Much more impressive in this victory, 42-7 against Kentucky than last week's win against the Houston Cougars, don't you think, Jim?
Yeah, and I think the key thing is great momentum going into the Swamp next Saturday as the Gators face off with Tennessee, who's coming off a brutal battle with Georgia. That game is yet to be decided right now. It's close up in Knoxville, but you feel a lot better about the Gators' opportunities to beat an excellent Tennessee team now that they've ironed out a few wrinkles on offense and defense that were unsettled when the Houston game was over.
Florida's offensive line performed extremely well. Terry Jackson ran extremely well, and Florida's defense almost pitched a shutout tonight. Doring had a couple of more touchdown catches. Warfel threw 2 more touchdown strikes to Chris Doring. And all in all, an outstanding evening for the University of Florida football Gators, who win it tonight. The final score, Florida 42 and Kentucky 7. That'll wrap up our portion up here in the booth. David Steele along with Jim Yarbrough. Now let's send it down on the field to Larry Vittel and Frank Frangie. They'll wrap it up. Gentlemen.
Down at field level. Defensive end Mark Campbell. And Mark, I got to tell you, there was some question about the defensive front last week. Didn't play as well as I know any of you would have liked to. Today, I thought the defensive line was really a force.
Yeah, we're very embarrassed about what happened last week, you know, and we wanted to go out tonight and show people that we still have the capability and the personnel to play the run. You know, a lot of people wrote us off last week, but we know what we're capable of, and the type of team we have. You know, and the team, our teammates just, came together and we all, played well.
The Florida defense used a lot of players today. You guys got some rest. Maybe it hadn't always been that way. Today the rotation was pretty good. Does that help?
Yeah, that helps a lot, especially when the offense puts so much points on the board. So that helps us a whole lot.
Mark Campbell, defensive end for Florida. Let's talk now about next week. I know you just got over this one, but another one of those very, very big Southeastern Conference games. The Florida Gators kind of embarrassed Tennessee last week. You know they're coming in ready to play.
Well, yeah, we're just going to enjoy this one and worry about Tennessee on Monday. We're going to enjoy this win. But, no doubt Tennessee's a very good team, and we have to, prepare much harder than we did for this one.
Mark Campbell, thanks. Mark Campbell, the Florida defensive end, and what a terrific game he and the rest of the defensive line played. Your score, Florida 42, Kentucky 7. That's your final. Now let's throw it back upstairs. No, we will. Florida 42, Kentucky 7.